no problem. All right. And let's get up. Okay, Joe, tell me what the problem was.
It was really easy.
What was it?
It's the button on the inbox.
Are you kidding me?
I'll show you. I'll show
Like,
you when we're done. Yeah.
I had left it on or something?
You left it transferred to her.
Oh.
If you hit it again, it'll come back. So
We couldn't figure out why the monitor wasn't working this morning, so we had to call the tech guys to come fix it.
I'll show you when we're done.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Judge Nicola. Just got to get myself up and running here and we'll be ready to go. I got a lot of people on Zoom and a few people calling in by phone, so bear with me. Let's just get everybody in.
Judge, we have one from Regional Counsel and one from Representative.
Hello.
One moment, please, everybody. This is Judge Nicola. I've got a lot of people signing on to Zoom right now.
Morning, Your Honor.
Good morning.
Morning, everybody. Everybody, if you wouldn't mind muting your microphone so that we can just, it'll allow for a lot less feedback this morning. And we'll get to your case. We've got a big docket this morning, 102 items, so it might take us some time to get through it, but we will. I do have two people that are in the courtroom, though, that I would like to address their cases first. Sir, in the front, what is your name? Mr. Gomez, let me find you, sir. All right, Mr. Gomez.
Excuse me.
Are you sure?
Hello?
Where's your last name? Alfredo Gomez. Your last name is Gomez. I don't see you on the docket. Do you have a paper that says you're supposed to work? 201630. Wait a minute. Is it Gomez? Today. I see Garcia. Everybody over Zoom, if you wouldn't mind muting your microphone, please, until we call your case.
Excuse me, miss. I got a question real quick.
Please, we are addressing another case. Okay, I'm gonna have to go. 20. What was it? 20 MM1630. I don't know what the problem is here, but it's not showing up on my docket. Very strange. Okay, there you are, sir. It shows up here, but why doesn't it show up there? I don't know. Good morning.
Mayor, I have Walter Ross on the line.
All right, are you going to transfer him? Do I need to hang up?
No, I'm transferring him right now.
All right, I have to put him on hold because I've got someone in front of me right now.
Okay.
Mr. Ross? Hi, this is Judge Nicola. Can you hold for a minute, please? I've actually got two cases I've got people in the courtroom that I need to address first, and then I will take your case, okay?
Sure, no problem. Thank you very much.
All right, just hold on for 1 minute. All right, let's see here, Mr. Gomez. All right, sir, your case was filed October of 2020, and we're here for the pretrial today. And I see you do not have an attorney. Would you like to have an attorney assist you? Okay. Sure. Let me find out if there is an offer. Mr. Rabb, is there an offer to resolve Mr. Gomez's matter?
Yes, Your Honor. Just to confirm, Your Honor, this is 20 MM 1630.
Yes, it is.
Thank you, Your Honor. Yes, ma'am. The offer right now, which was just approved by the victim, is an adjudication of guilt, 12-month probation that may early terminate at 9 months, 20 days jail, credit time served. The remainder of the jail sentence may be served on the weekend work or weekend lockdown program.
Okay.
Anger management.
Okay.
No contact with the victim. No trespass at the victim's residence.
Okay.
In order to reserve to the victim.
Is there restitution? Is there restitution?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, but it won't be addressed. It'll be addressed at a later date, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And court costs goes to prosecution.
Yes, ma'am.
Got it. That's the offer. No, you don't have to argue. What I'm saying, what the offer is that if there is restitution, we'll have a hearing on it at a later date. So in other words, there may not be, and there may never be a restitution order. That would be up to the state to prove, just like they have to prove the charges against you. They also would have to prove that that there was a restitution award and that restitution was ordered due to what you did. If they can't prove that, or if they can't provide any information to show that there was any damage, there would be no damage. What we usually do is we'll say, you're going to pay restitution if any, and if there is, it'll be at another date. So, but we would still have to have another hearing on that if there was restitution. Yes. 1 year of probation, which may terminate early after 9 months and successful completion of all of the terms. 20 days in jail, credit for all time served. That could be done straight time, weekend work, weekend lockdown, which means you could either go in and do your 20 days with credit for whatever you've done, or you could do it on the weekends, lockdown on the weekends, or there's a weekend work program where you show up at the jail and you work all day and then you go home at night. Anger management course you have to do, and no contact with either the victim and you also can't go to her residence, and you have to pay the court costs and the cost of prosecution. That's the offer. And if you wanted to do it, I'd have to get through 101 other cases today before I could take your plea. Okay, sounds good.
I got a question for the public defender. Is he going off previous record? This is my first. The state attorney prosecutes cases. The public defender is the person who represents people who are declared indigent that can't afford an attorney. So if you couldn't afford an attorney, you could apply for a public defender. I have multiple felonies. I've been out of prison for 5 years. I haven't done anything. I own a business. I'm actually trying to move the cannabis back to speed. I haven't moved yet because I have this situation in your court, and it's really holding me back. And now
I don't know the answer to it, but
I didn't punch nobody. I didn't send nobody to the hospital. Like, my past speaks for itself. Like, I'm a whole completely changed man. I provide jobs for citizens. So,
well, first of all, a simple shove is still a battery. A hit, a slap, a punch, a kick, or if you throw a potato at someone and it hits them in the head, it's a battery. So,
Your Honor.
Yep. I got to tell you, when somebody just says to me a simple shove, I go, a shove is a battery, period, end of story. So, Mr. Rabb, yes.
I know that the state's not present in the courtroom and it is difficult to hear, but would just request that the court remind the defendant that anything he states is on the record as it relates to this matter.
Yes, which I was about to do. And sir, yeah, you may want to make statements on the record because you do still have a pending criminal case, and when you say stuff on the record, it can be used in your criminal trial, which you don't want. The court cannot tell you why it is that this offer is being made by the state, nor is the state obligated to tell you why the offer is being made. The offer is being conveyed by the state. All I can do is make the offer to you. You don't have to take it. You could make application for the public defender, see if you could get a better offer. But in Florida, there is a thing called Marcy's Law, which means when an offer is made, it has to be conveyed to the person who is the victim in the case. And that person has input as to what the sentence is. So it may be that the person that was involved in this altercation may have said to the state attorney, I would like him to do some jail. I don't know, but I do know that they participate very actively in the plea negotiations that are made, and they also were the ones who approve the offer. So I do have to do something with your case, sir, because as I said, I have 101 other people that are set on pretrial today. So I'm going to continue your case and move it to another pretrial. That'll give you the time to talk to a lawyer. And if you wanted to, you could apply for the public defender. It will be April the 22nd. If you do get an attorney, everything's going to be remote, so you will not appear in court. Okay? I mean, I wish I could tell you more. I can't. My job is as the judge. I can't tell you why an offer is being made or if it isn't being made, because I'm neutral.
And I didn't want to seem like I'm putting up a argument. I come from a past where I lived in a closed room. I spent over 6 years of my life incarcerated altogether. I did 5 years straight. Here I am. You can take a look at my hands. I work on my own bench.
Understand, and we want you to succeed, not fail. So,
like, I'm willing to take probation. I understand. I understand that you don't want to much. I understand.
I can't change the offer today, and I can't really take a plea today.
I can't be in jail. Being in jail for me is about 8 months. So
And I can't do anything else for you, sir, other than tell you what the offer is today, give you another date so you can see if you can do something better by getting an attorney, or, you know, I mean, I think that might be a good course of action for you. Okay. All right, you too, sir. Thank you. Okay. Ma'am in the back, what's your name, please? Miss Griffin? Okay. I still don't know why he's not on my docket. She is. Okay, Miss Griffin, this is case number 20CT1588. She's actually represented by regional counsel. Is Mr. Clark over the Zoom app? Mr. Clark?
Haven't seen him log in yet, Your Honor.
So I'm going to need to have you wait a minute, ma'am, because your attorney isn't here. But I will tell you that when you are represented by an attorney, we are having people not come to the pre-trials. So your case, if it's set for trial, will be set the week of February 22nd or March the 2nd, February 23rd or March 2nd. But we're going to have to wait. If you want to wait, you can wait. Otherwise, you could get in touch with Mr. Clark, who's your attorney, and he can tell you, you know, where we're going with it. But I can't do anything with your case until he's here. Okay. All right. Thank you. All right. Let's see. Who do we have over Zoom? Oh, wait. Let's deal with Mr. Ross. Mr. Ross. Good morning, sir. And this is the last name is Ross, and this is case number 20CT606. And Mr. Ross, first of all, my apologies to you. I did not realize last time that you were having some difficulties with getting a call in or Zooming in for the last hearing. So I erroneously issued a bench warrant, which I immediately set aside once I realized that there was the problem. So just keep in touch with Jen, and we'll make sure that we can have you actively participate, because we've been, you know, in kind of the middle of this remote hearing concept. Sometimes people miss court dates, and, you know, they have difficulties like you did. And I certainly never want to issue a bench warrant for someone who's trying. So I'm sorry about that.
That's fine. I appreciate your thoughts on it. The only thing is, when the bench warrant was put out, my driver's license is suspended through Florida now.
Because of the bench warrant?
Yes, I just called in.
It's probably a D6, Judge.
Let's see. Let me look, sir. Let me just see what's going on with your license, if I can. And sir, I see you don't have an attorney. Would you like to have an attorney represent you?
No.
Okay. Huh. Well, I'm looking at he had a traffic violation, and there's no D6 on that. And let's look at your case here. Failure to register motor vehicle. Mr. Ross, have you gotten your vehicle registered?
Yes, I did. I sent in, as a matter of fact, I got it registered like, I think it was 3 days after I got pulled over, because I had to register to get it out of the impound yard.
Mr. Rabb, what's the status with this? He said that he has registered his motor vehicle.
Your Honor, I'm searching David right now.
Mr. Ross, I'm going to try and pull up your driving record on the Florida Department of Motor Vehicle website. Could you pull out your driver's license and give me the driver's license number, please, so I can look it up? Because I'm not finding anywhere either in my file, or you had a traffic ticket a while ago, and neither one is showing that your driver's license is suspended. So I want to just look at it. Maybe I can help you figure out why it is suspended.
Okay.
And Your Honor, I am showing that the vehicle expiration date was December 31st for the registration of the same vehicle that's listed on the citation.
Did your vehicle registration expire December 31st, Mr. Ross? Or have you reinstated it? Because the state attorney's looking at it saying it's expired.
No, I'm not even in Florida any longer. I'm in Indiana.
Oh, so you registered it up in Indiana?
No, it's not right. I don't even know it no longer.
Did you sell it?
Yeah.
Do you have proof that you sold it so you can like at least provide it to us? Because that might help solve some of the problem.
I told it to it now on Facebook. I can give you my license number. I have that right here. I will look it up.
Yeah, I'm going to look up your driver's license, but we'd be helpful if we could at least get some confirmation that the vehicle that was in question that wasn't registered was sold. Because right now, what we've...
I registered it right after the ticket.
Okay.
I have, like, 3 days after I got the ticket, I registered it. I sent in, pictures of the registration and everything I mailed them in to you guys.
And then you sold the car.
Yes, I sold it, I don't know, maybe 2 months ago, I guess.
Okay. Let's get your driver's license number first. And then Mr. Rabb, is there any way that we can find out whether this vehicle is showing up as sold? Because if it was transferred to somebody else, I mean, you would think that the person would have registered it by now.
Your Honor, I'm looking at the title history on.
It was sold as parts.
Sold as parts.
It was in,
And I'm looking at the title history on David, Your Honor, and it's still showing the vehicle registered to the defendant.
Well, if you sell a vehicle as parts, you basically no longer have the vehicle, and the person is just basically going to strip the vehicle. So I don't know how we prove or disprove what what he says, which fits the court.
I think it was a 1991 pickup, and it was pretty old.
Your Honor,
Yes, sir.
I know we have a fairly long docket
I know.
today.
I'm trying to figure out what we do with this.
If the defendant is able to provide proof to our office of sale of parts relating to that vehicle, whether that be in an affidavit, I think the best thing to do at this point is to continue it to the April date. Because it is a second-degree misdemeanor, the state would ask that it be placed on the non-jury trial docket, which I believe is the 26th of April.
26th of April. All right, sir. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to move you to the 26th of April, which is a non-jury docket. And then what I suggest to you is that you get in touch with the gentleman that you sold the parts to, and see if you can get him to sign a bill of sale or something so that you can provide it to the state so that we can show that in fact the vehicle no longer is, it's not drivable, it's gone. We just need some proof of that, sir. If you would please do that. And also please give me your driver's license number so I can just run it for you real quick. What is it?
Okay.
Yeah.
200
Uh-huh.
-912 -70 -401 -0.
Okay. R200-912-704-010.
Yes.
All right. Cancels. Oh. All right. You're right. That's what it says. It says failure to appear in Collier 10/26/20. But that order was set aside. So what you're going to need to do, sir, is you're going to need to take a copy of my court order setting aside the warrant to the Florida Department of Motor Vehicles, and that should take care of it. I mean, I did it right away, so I can't understand why they would have suspended it. I mean, literally, the bench warrant was set aside. Well, that's weird. It doesn't show. That's what it says. Oh, I'm gonna fix that myself then. All right. Yeah, I'm gonna fix that. Mr. Ross, I'm gonna do an amended order on this for you to see if I can't fix it internally, and you'll just have to keep an eye out. I'll work on it today and see if I can't get this fixed for you by doing a court order that should hopefully clear it up with Tallahassee. All right, and apologies again on this. All right, but we're going to set you again, as I said, for that April 26th date, and it'll be another Zoom hearing, sir. Okay. All right. Thank you.
All right.
Okay. Bye bye.
Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you. All right. Bye bye.
Your Honor, I
Yes, sir.
apologize for interrupting. I only have one case on the docket, if you don't mind taking it.
No, I don't mind. I'm happy to take anybody who just has a few short things this morning. Go ahead, Mr. Levy.
Thank you, Judge. I'm here for Mariel Neptune. This is case 20MM1606. William Levy from the Law Office of Jerry Berry on her behalf.
Yes.
Judge, we were just retained last night. I do see she's had some prior pretrials. We have not received evidence. It appears there's going to be a very important video that we need to review. We would just ask for a continuance with a waiver to get the evidence from the state.
And Judge, I have requested that my motion to withdraw be expedited from support staff. Mr. Levy, I'm sure Ms. Neptune's filled you in on where I was at with the case. Anything that I can give you to expedite along, I'm willing to do. Just get in touch with me and I can do that.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
No problem.
All right, so what we're gonna do is we'll continue this case to the private pretrial, which will be April 21st at 9.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, thank you.
Have a nice day.
Anybody, you too. Anybody else that's over Zoom that is representing themselves that does not have an attorney? Any of you guys that are over Zoom that do not have an attorney that are representing yourselves? Mr. Ricardo? Yes, sir. This is Yoel Ricardo, and it is case number 20 MM1302. Mr. Ricardo, I see that you do not have an attorney. Would you like to have an attorney represent you, sir?
No.
You're going to continue forward on your behalf?
Yes.
And Mr. Rabb, is there an offer to resolve Mr. Ricardo's case?
Yes, Your Honor. So the state was able to make contact. If you recall, Your Honor, this was originally going to be set for a non-jury trial. The defendant was going to represent himself pro se. The state was able to make contact with the manager of the company that was the victim in this case. That victim has agreed to diversion as an alternative form of adjudication for this. So if the court would like to explain what that process is to the defendant, unfortunately, because he's unrepresented, we haven't had the ability to do that yet.
Sure. So Mr. Ricardo, there's an offer that's being conveyed to you to resolve your case, which would require you to attend and complete a program which is called diversion. Diversion is run through the Collier County Probation Department. It's kind of similar to being on probation because they'll ask you to do some certain tasks in order to complete diversion. But if you successfully complete the diversion tasks, all charges against you will be dismissed, which means the case will be dropped against you. Would you like to try the diversion program, sir?
How is it go?
Okay, let's do this again. Diversion is a program that is run through probation. It provides you an opportunity to have your case dropped, or in other words, your charges dismissed, which means everything will be gone if you complete diversion. Would you like to try it?
What about on my record? Will that stay after that?
It'll still show that you were arrested for petty theft, but that the charges were dismissed. The other thing you could do is you could enter a plea to the charges, but we would need to have you come in. The third thing you could do is we could set your case for trial, where you could have a trial. The state would be required to call its witnesses against you, and you would also have the opportunity to call witnesses on your behalf. But at this point in time, when we're on a pretrial, those are your three options. You're either going to take diversion, we're going to set you for a plea, or we're going to give you a trial date.
What task do I have to do with the diversion?
That's up to probation. And if you don't like them, you can always say, you know what, I don't feel like doing this. I either want a trial or I want to enter some type of a plea.
So
but I will give you the opportunity to sign up for diversion and try to complete it if you would like. A lot of people successfully complete it because they like having their charges dismissed versus having a plea or an adjudication of guilt on their record. But that's totally up to you, sir. But this is the time that I do need to have I do not need to have an answer because, as I said, I have 100 people on this docket today.
Yeah, I would like my charges to be dismissed because I didn't do anything wrong. It's just, I don't know, but I would like to have them dismissed.
Well, you can have them dismissed one of two ways. You could either go through the diversion program, which is an option, or I can set your case for trial and you could go to trial and either I or a jury, if you wanted a jury trial, would determine that you were not guilty. But those are the options. I can't do anything today other than give you those options. So would you like to try the diversion, or do you want me to give you a trial date?
I would like to try the diversion program.
Okay.
And
So
Your
what
Honor,
you will need, yes, sir.
Your apologies for interjecting, Your Honor.
Sure.
Since the state was not aware whether the defendant would take the diversion offer, the state does need to prepare the contract and send that to Mr. Cruz in probation. I would just ask that the court advise the defendant to take a day and potentially call Mr. Cruz tomorrow to allow us to do that.
Okay. So, sir, if you could just get a hold of Mr. Cruz tomorrow or the beginning of next week, you need to call the Collier County Probation Department. Tell them that you're eligible for diversion and you want to come in and sign the contract, okay? And what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to reset your case for my next pretrial docket, which is April 22nd at 9 a.m. If you are attending diversion and you're successfully completing the tasks, we will not see you back here.
So April 22nd?
That will be your next court date if for whatever reason you don't want to do diversion or you have some difficulties with it. Okay, otherwise your case will be dismissed and we won't see you again. That'll be the end of it.
Okay, how will I contact the, that, what's the name?
Collier County Probation. I would suggest you write it down.
Here.
Collier County Probation Department.
Probation. Collier County Probation.
Yes, sir.
And I'm
So I
requesting,
just call, yeah.
I'm requesting the contract be prepared right now, Your Honor.
Okay, perfect.
So I just call them and tell them that I am eligible to be on that program.
On diversion.
Okay.
And that you need to come in and meet with them.
Okay.
All right. You think you got it, Mr. Ricardo? I want to make sure.
Yeah, so I have the next court day for April 22nd,
Yep.
9 a.m.
Yep.
And I am gonna call Collier County Probation.
Yep.
To do the contract for the diversion
Yes, sir.
of my, like, to dismiss or drop the charges.
Yep.
And I'll try to do it. And if I finish it before April 22nd, I don't have to go back to court.
That's right.
And you tell me
also-
that I will have it on my record that I was arrested, but that it was dismissed.
That's right. And I'm going to give you the phone number for probation. You want to write it down?
Oh yeah.
252-8135.
252
8135.
8135. That's 239, right?
Yes, sir.
239-252-8135.
Yes, sir.
That's perfect. Thank you so much.
All right. Good luck. I hope it works for you. Okay.
Thank you.
All
Bye.
right. Bye. All right. Anybody else over Zoom who's representing themselves today? Or is everyone else that's over Zoom represented by an attorney? All right. Having heard that, I've got two people in the courtroom that have entered the courtroom that I want to address. Sir in the front, what is your name? Black t-shirt. All right, Mr. Surya. I've seen you a few times before. 20mm 275. Mr. Surya, I have a phone number for you. Is your phone still not working? Okay. Are you going to get a different phone number? All right. Well, you'll need to let my judicial assistant know what your new phone number is in the event that we need to call you. Your case, what are we doing with your case? 20mm 275. Are we going to set your case for trial, sir? Okay. Your charge was, or is, resisting or obstructing an officer without violence. Charge was February 10th of 2020, which means your case is a year old. It either needs to be addressed or it needs to go to trial. So what would you like to do? Do you want me to give you a trial date? So why haven't you tried to get an attorney in a year? Why would it be dropped? Okay. Mr. Rab, what do I do with Mr. Suryak? I mean, I've seen him, month after month after month for a year, but I'm kind of getting it to the end of my rope with this one being that it's a year old. If I continue this, Mr. Suryak, it's going to be a final continuance, which means that the lawyer's going to have to get up to speed on it pretty quick. The good news is that my next pretrial docket is in April, which would give the attorney 2+ months to get up to speed, but you would need to let him or her know that this is the last continuance, which means I'm not going to grant a continuance to an attorney who's new on the case just because they say I'm new on the case. They'll have, if you went out and hired somebody today, they'd have over 2 months to prepare. So I will grant you one final continuance with the understanding that you got to let the attorney know that, who you hire, that this is going to go in May. The April date is April 22nd at 9 a.m. All right. All right. Thank you.
The state has no objection to that, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Rabb. All right, sir, what is your name in the back? Mr. Sanchez? Okay, let me just find you. Is your first name Larry? All right, 20 CT 2014. And Mr. Sanchez, I see that you don't have an attorney. Are you going to get an attorney, sir? Yes? Oh, okay. Have you reinstated your license? Fantastic. Come on up to the podium. Mr. Rabb, you want to look up this gentleman's license to see if it is in fact reinstated?
Sure, I am, Your Honor. Will do right now.
Okay. I see that you have it. He's just going to verify it on the DMV website. Okay. All right, let's see here.
And Your Honor, the state is showing a valid Class C driver's license.
Wonderful.
The state is willing to amend the charge to a no valid driver's license charge with adjudication and cost. This was the defendant's third charge, driving with a suspended license.
Okay. So, sir, the state is not willing to dismiss the charges outright, but what they are willing to do is amend it to a no valid driver's license charge, which is a second-degree misdemeanor, and they would request that there would be an adjudication of guilt and that you would pay the court costs and the cost of prosecution, but there wouldn't be anything else. No probation, no jail or anything. Is that something you'd like to do? Or would you like another court date so you can talk to a lawyer? Yes.
Previous time I was arrested, it was the second one. This time we made it the second one.
This time, well, I'm looking at your driving record, and it says, I think you might be wrong. 12/18 of 09, driving while license suspended, canceled, or revoked, and there was an adjudication. And then 3/17 of 2012, driving while license suspended, canceled, or revoked, and that was an adjudication. There were also 2 charges back in 07 and 09, and it looks like those might have been withholds of adjudication because I don't see. And actually, when I look at these, Mr. Rabb, the DWLSRs, they say 0 points, so it looks like I don't know what happened to them.
Yes, Your Honor. I'm showing criminal DWLSRs from July 2007, January 2009, March 2012, December 2009. Those are the incident dates.
That's what I see too. It's just odd because I'm not seeing that whether there was an adjudication on them, and it's showing, the conversion 0 points. So I can't even, usually when I get these driving records, it shows that there were points assessed when there was a conviction. So that's what I'm, a little bit worried about, because if there was a conviction on them, or, if there was an adjudication on them, if they were charged as traffic offenses.
Yes, Your Honor. They are criminal convictions. I'm looking at the driving record right now. They are criminal convictions.
Okay.
And I would remind, or I would ask the court to remind the defendant that whether it was a withhold of adjudication or not, it still counts towards enhanceability as it relates to a third or more.
Okay. So so what's the state's offer is that you've got, it looks like 4, some of them are really old, which is probably why they're making the offer to just lower it to a no valid driver's license, but they're not willing to dismiss it outright because of your history. So,
And Your Honor,
yes, sir.
I would also ask the court to remind the defendant that with the charge, the original charge, it does carry a mandatory minimum jail sentence of 10 days.
So if you were to plead to the original charge, which is driving with a suspended driver's license, it would be a 10-day in jail sentence. So he's really cutting you a break by dropping it down to the no valid driver's license, if you would like to accept that. I mean, I know you probably would rather have the court dismiss it outright, but sometimes your past catches up with you, which is why we can't do that. But we are offering you the ability not to have another driving while license suspended on your record. Okay, is that what you want to do? I can either have you do it today, which means you'd have to wait until I get through everybody else, or I could set you for a plea date where you come back and do the plea. Which would you prefer?
I think you're kind of confused. So, I'm gonna have to off.
Since you fixed your driver's license, the state is willing to reduce the charge from a first-degree misdemeanor, which is driving while license suspended, canceled, or revoked, which carries with it a required 10-day jail sentence, to a no valid driver's license charge, which is a second-degree misdemeanor, which has no jail. You would just have to pay the court costs and the cost of prosecution. That makes sense? All right. Do you want to do it today, or do you want me to give you another court date? Because you can probably see right now, I have 102 people on this docket, and I think I've been through 5. Get another date? Okay. So, and for everybody that's over Zoom right now, I was able to open up a new date for pleas, which would be March the 23rd at 1:30. So if you want to come back March 23rd, we could take your plea then. And we'll set you at 1:30 on March 23rd for a plea. I'm also, in the event you change your mind and you don't want a plea, I'm going to give you another pretrial date, which would be April the 22nd at 9. So if you change your mind, and you don't want to do the plea, then you got to come back on April 22nd, and then we'll figure out what we're going to do. Okay. All right. Thank you. All right. All right. Anybody else over the Zoom app that is not represented by an attorney? No. All right. Then Ms. Armpriester.
Zoom. Hello.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am. I recently applied for the public defender, but I'm not sure if I'm represented as of
What's your name?
yet today.
What's your name?
Enrique Herrera.
What's your name?
Enrique Herrera, and I also got another court date at a court today at 11. And
Mr.
I don't know if
Herrera,
I'm gonna be waiting that long.
You are represented by Ms. Armpriester. Enrique Herrera, case number 20 CT 1782. You are represented by Ms. Armpriester. Ms. Armpriester, what are we doing for Mr. Herrera? Is Ms. Armpriester there? We gotta find her.
I'm here, Judge.
I got another court at 11.
Hold on, sir. We have Enrique Herrera,
Yes,
case
ma'am.
number 20 CT 1782. Ms. Armpriester, you are appointed to represent him. What are we doing with his case?
Judge, if we could continue Mr. Herrera's case, I don't believe I've had contact with him. If he could state his number on the record.
It looks like it's 239
Yes, ma'am.
839 7100.
Yes, ma'am.
Is that right? All right.
Yes, ma'am.
So we're going to put you on the April 22nd pretrial at 9 a.m. That'll allow you the opportunity to speak with your attorney, discuss whatever issues that you want to have presented to the court in the event you go to trial, and also to learn whether there's any offers to resolve your case in the meantime. All right, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank
April
you.
22nd.
Yes, sir. April 22nd at 9. So it's still going to be remote.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, Ms. Armpriester, we want to go through your cases?
Yes, Your Honor, I apologize. There was just a lobby full of people. I was trying to get them on their way.
I thought that might have happened.
Judge, if we could start with Mr. Nicholas Reed. He's out in the lobby, and he also has been one of our longest cases.
He's the first one on my list of the oldest case that we have.
Yes, Judge, it's 19 MM 1020. Judge, I had been trying to maintain contact with him. When I took over the case, I lost contact. He's here now. I think we might be able to get these diversion sanctions done, and I can show proof to Mr. Rabb. If we could have a continuance to April 22nd as a final continuance to get this done, the defense would greatly appreciate that.
How far along is he on the diversion tasks?
I need to go talk to him, Your Honor.
Mr. Rabb?
Your Honor, I have no objection to a final continuance if diversion has been offered. Ultimately, I leave it in the court's discretion as it relates to moving forward.
This would definitely be a final continuance because this one needs to be resolved one way or the other. But if he's going to complete diversion, then that would end it too. So this will also go on the April 22nd at 9 a.m. docket, Ms. Armpriester.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, thank you.
Okay, Judge. We'll just start up at the top then.
Okay.
Judge Addison Alonzo Fletcher, 20 CO 224 and 20 MM 1040. Your Honor, I've spoken with Mr. Rabb about this. Your Honor had set today that I needed to submit proof to Mr. Rabb or communications to the court that I had contact with him. He's in the Salvation Army. I've spoken with the Salvation Army representative. They are going to send me a letter that he's there. He does have a release date for sometime in April. Your Honor, if we could have the 4/22 date, and I believe we could work this out with either a plea in absentia or we could set for plea at that next date.
So he's in like a rehabilitation program?
Yes, at the Salvation Army in Fort Myers.
Okay. Any objection, Mr. Rabb?
No objection, Your Honor. And just for the record, I echo Ms. Arnpriester's comments. We have been in contact, and hopefully this matter will resolve.
Okay. Well, if he's up there and he's doing well, I certainly don't want to interrupt that. That sounds like it's a good plan. So let's put that also on April 22nd at 9 a.m. All right. How about Javier Alvarez, 20 MM 2064?
Judge, he too was just in my office. I was just able to get his contact information. If I could have 4/22, please.
Any objection, Mr. Rabb?
No objection, Your Honor.
April 22nd. How about Leticia Avilar, 20 MM 1923?
Your Honor, I've not had contact. I've asked my investigators to assist me with locating her. I don't have any further representations.
It does look like this is a pretty new case. I don't see any failures to appear or any issues with her. Do we want to move this to the April the 22nd? April 22nd docket?
The state has no objection, Your Honor.
All right, let's move this to 4/22 at 9 a.m. Hopefully you'll be able to find her. I'm not seeing any here indicating on her information that she can't be found. So hopefully you guys can get together between now and then.
Yes, and then Your Honor, I'm just trying to confirm something on my next case, which is Victor Antonio Balas, 20 CT 2203.
Next one I see is Curvinson Badere, Badere. Do you not see that one? 20 MM 2113. It says PD. Let me just get it. See if you guys.
I don't see it on my list under my name, but that doesn't mean it's not a new appointment. If I could please have the next court date on that, and I will look into it.
It looks like it was appointed January 4th. It says application for indigent status, yes, is indigent, but it doesn't show a notice of appearance by anybody. It just shows on my dashboard that this individual did qualify.
Huh.
I don't know. Do you see it? If you look at the docket, it says 1/4/21 application for indigent status, yes, is indigent.
I only pulled my cases under my name, Judge, so I don't have that in front of me. But if you can give me the case number and if we could still continue it just for purposes of our large docket, I will look into it and get the necessary paperwork filed.
Yeah, it's a pretty new case. It's Curvinson Badere, 20 MM 2113, and I'm going to move him to April 22nd at 9.
I'm actually showing an NOA was I guess filed with the clerk this morning. So.
Oh, then that's
the case
why.
has been dismissed?
No, your notice to appear on behalf of the public defender was filed this morning.
Oh, okay.
So then it'll probably come through my name here in the next few business days.
And I just refreshed mine and I see that now too.
Now
Okay.
I see it, Judge.
Amazing.
It just popped up in our internal system. If I could please, it does appear that we've already gone through arraignment, so plea of not guilty has been entered. If I may set this for the next court date, please.
April 22nd at 9. All right, and then the next one you have is Victor Baez, 20 CT 2203. And you said you had something you were doing on him?
Yes, Judge, I'm just trying to verify. Yes, Your Honor, I've not been able to make contact with Mr. Balas. I did involve investigations.
Mr. Baez, let's see.
Your Honor, I would request just a continuance to April, and if not, then the state will request a bench warrant if contact still hasn't been made.
All right, this court will continue it to April the 22nd in the hopes that Ms. Armbruster, that you can get a hold of this gentleman. It says that he lives in Lake Park, Florida, so that might be part of the disconnect, that he doesn't live in Naples. But hopefully we can find him between now and then. We got 2 months to find him. All right, how about Orkins Belaine, 20mm 1189?
Judge, this case was going to be set for a plea last time. However, he was working, he's training to be a truck driver. He's going to be home in March. Is there a March plea date that we could set this for?
Yes, March the 23rd at 1:30.
Okay, that should work, Judge.
All right, March 23rd at 1:30 for a plea. How about Henry Beltran, 20mm 1973?
Judge, if we could set Mr. Beltran's case for a plea, thank you.
March 23rd at 1:30. All right, how about Nicholas Bishop, 20 CT 1178?
One moment, Your Honor. Judge, Mr. Bishop is working on getting his driver's license. If we could have the April 22nd date.
Any objection, Mr. Rabb?
No objection, Your Honor.
April 23rd at 9. Hopefully he's
Sorry.
making a lot of progress on it because his case is getting old too.
Judge, is it the 22nd or the 23rd?
Oh, the 23rd is my plea date. I'm sorry. It's 22nd in April for the pretrials, 23rd of March for pleas. Okay?
Got it.
All right. How about Shannon Bloom, 20mm 1982?
Judge, we need a continuance. The state just made us an offer. It does come with some hefty jail time. So if we could have the April 22nd.
Any objection, Mr. Rabb?
No, Your Honor, and just for the record, it looks like that Ms. Bloom may be present via Zoom.
That's correct, Judge. She might be.
Yes, I am.
Okay, I see you, Ms. Bloom. So your attorney is asking for a continuance on this to discuss the plea offer with you and perhaps have some other conversations with you. So I think that would make sense. Your next trial will be April 22nd at 9 a.m. Okay?
Okay, great. Thank you.
All right,
Talk
thank
to you
you.
soon, Shannon.
Okay, bye-bye.
Crystal Bovan, 20mm 1358.
Judge, she's waiting on the hard copy of her medical marijuana card to come in so that we can send it to the state. If we could have the April 22nd date.
Any objection, Mr. Rabb?
No objection, Your Honor.
April 22nd at 9. Philip Brodowski, 19mm 2166. This is also one that's on my radar, is getting to be too old.
Judge, we do want to set this for trial. However, yesterday the co-defendant's case was set for trial and it was brought to my attention that the state's having a witness issue. So I'm not sure if we want to still go ahead and set it for trial and work that out through that process or know ahead of time that there's a potential witness issue.
Yep, Your Honor.
Yes.
Ms. Armbruster is correct. There is a witness availability issue on, I guess, on this defendant's wife's case. It doesn't appear that the two might be related. For whatever reason, I'm not seeing a witness coordination note regarding a conflict for this case. What I would request, however, based on the date, is that this be set for the March 1st week of your trial docket with sounding on February 19th.
Okay.
Just for the court to be made aware, I did look at the cases set yesterday from our private docket. The arresting date for this offense for Ms. Armbruster's case appears to be September 8th. There do appear to be a significant number of cases before that on the court's docket from the private docket. So I would just request that March date and allow Ms. Armbruster and I to continue to potentially resolve this case.
So let's set this for sounding February 19th at 9 with the trial week of March the 2nd. And this will be the first one I've set from the PD Pro Se docket. And I'll let you all know that I did look at my trial dockets this morning. And as of right now, I've got 17 on 223 week and I've got 10 on 3-2, this being the 11th. So some of them are going to be bumped. Hopefully some of them do resolve as well, but we'll see. All right, so that one's taken care of. What about Courtney Brown? And she has two cases, 19mm 2263 and 20 CT 820. And the former, the MM case, is just about as old as Mr. Brodowski. So that's another one that's on my radar.
I've not been able to establish contact with her. I've had my investigator go to her home. We've just not had any luck with that.
What if
Your Honor,
we
the state
order her to appear on February 19th and let her know that, you know, she's either going to have a trial or there's going to be some resolution, because this one is getting to the 1.5 year mark, at least the first one. So I'm kind of thinking we set it for February 19th and we order her to appear.
I'm fine with setting it with an order to appear, just not calendar call ready for trial.
Well, I kind of feel like the reason that you're not ready for trial is her problem. She hasn't been in communication with her lawyer. So.
Yes, Judge, but then I can't get ready for trial, whether that's her problem or not. I still have to, I'm not, if you want to set it for a mandatory appearance on the 19th, that's fine, but I'm not, for purposes of the record, trying to make any representations to the court that the defense is at all ready for trial.
All right, well, we'll have to address it then. You know, having a defendant that's completely ignoring their case when it's 458 days old is not acceptable. And I'm not giving you any grief, Ms. Armpriester, because it sounds like you've done everything you can to communicate with the client, but we've been letting her slide all this time, and now we've actually got a couple of weeks open for jury trials. So I think it's time to at least give her that information so that she understands that she's at the end of her rope in ignoring the issue, because it's not going to go away. So February 19th at 9 a.m., mandatory appearance by the defendant in both cases. If she does not appear, we will figure out what we're going to do about it then.
Understood.
All right. Thank you. All right. Next year's case is Christian Brown, 20 MM 1674.
Judge, I sent Mr. Rabb a copy of my client's medical marijuana card. There is a hefty amount of cost of investigation in jail on this one. If we could have the 4/22 date.
Any objection, Mr. Rabb?
No, Your Honor.
All right, 4/22 at 9. How about Manuel Caballero, 20 MM 1366?
We could have a continuance, Your Honor. This case could potentially be a trial, but client, there's still a couple issues that he wants to think about.
Any objection, Mr. Rabb?
No, ma'am, Your Honor.
April 22nd at 9. How about Sabano Carrillo Leyva, 21 CT 6? This is a brand new case.
Yes, Judge, if we could have, is there a date sooner than April 22nd, or is that pretty much it for Your Honor?
That's my next pretrial date because of the way that my trial schedules fell in March. I was either going to have a judge cover a March pretrial for me, or I was just going to move it to April. And in all honesty, I thought it might make sense to just move it to April in light of the fact that I don't have a trial week in March.
I understand.
You know, this one judge, 1 week thing, at least for now, is what we've got. And I didn't want to pull in another judge for me in March when I, in fact, wasn't going to have any trials. So that's why we're moving them out to April. And in all honesty, it gives you guys some additional time to get prepared for what may be a May trial docket, hopefully. We'll see. So yeah, it would be April 22nd.
Okay.
But I'm going to have plea dates. So if any of the cases that resolve, I'll definitely have plea dates. I just I don't have any trials, so I'm not going to have any pre-trials.
Okay. And if, as soon as I get an offer from Mr. Rabb, if I need to set this on a 215, I will.
Yeah. Oh, is he in jail?
Yes, he's in custody.
Yeah, you can always set it in a 215, whether it's me or one of the other judges. We're all working together to get people out of jail. So that works.
Ms.
All right.
I'll send you an offer right now.
Wonderful. Thanks.
Yeah, if you decide you want to accept it today, I'm on at 2 o'clock today, so I'm happy to add it. How about Reynolds Cabins, 20 MM 265?
Your Honor, unfortunately, our office has not been able to have any contact with Mr. Cavins. I've done an investigative request to assist in finding him.
All right, let's see. Mr. Cavins is, yeah, this is another one where I'm going to set him for February 19th at 9 a.m. mandatory court appearance, and we'll address it then. This is one that's a year old too, so kind of the same statements apply to the previous defendant kind of apply to him. So let's get him in here and see what's going on with him. Hopefully we can get him here. All right, let's see who's after Mr.
Your Honor?
Yes, sir.
Will you require the state to subpoena witnesses for that case, or is that?
No, I'm not going to require it, because I'm sure that Ms. Armpriester is going to tell me the same thing she with Mr. Cavins as she did with the former client, which is I haven't had any communication with the client, so I'm unable to prepare any defense because I don't know what the defense is. So I certainly can't make an attorney go to trial who's not prepared due to the behavior of the client. But we certainly can take certain action against the client who's failing to appear on purpose. So we can flesh that out when we have the status on February 19th. Hopefully these individuals have a good reason why they haven't been communicating with you, Ms. Armpriester, and why their cases aren't moving forward. But I'll give them an opportunity to give me an explanation on February the 19th. And yeah, you don't have to subpoena witnesses. We're not going to be able to have a trial in those cases.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. All right, how about David Colamasine, 20 CT 173, Ms. Armpriester?
Judge, he's very close to getting his license reinstated. If we could have 422.
You think he'll have his license reinstated by 422?
I think there's a good chance.
Mr. Rabb, any objection? It'll be a final continuance.
I will defer to Ms. Armpriester and have April 22nd be the final continuance.
All right, sounds good. How about Justin Curry, 20 MM 253?
Your Honor, yesterday you granted in part and denied in part my motion for deposition. So if we could have the 422 date, I think I could get the depots done by then.
That was a civilian witness you were going to depose, right?
Yes.
Okay. Any objection, Mr. Rabb?
No objection, Your Honor.
422 at 9. How about Santiago Dominguez Lopez, 20 MM 1762?
I'd like to set this for a plea, please.
March 23rd at 1:30. Mark Darius, 20 MM 1568.
Oh, I'm sorry. That was the one I thought I was setting for a plea.
Oh, nope. Which is the one, and I just took it off my dashboard. Let's see here, Darius, who was the one before it?
I believe the last case was 20 MM 1760.
That's right. Domingo Lopez was the last one, 20 MM 1762.
Judge, this is an interesting matter. Domingo Lopez, he's in custody and he speaks mom. He was in front of Your Honor once before to plea. His offer is a withhold in time served. But when I spoke with him with a Spanish interpreter, everything was, he appeared to very much understand and engaged appropriately. But then when we got to court, he didn't understand a lick of what the interpreter was saying. So he's been in custody all this time. And I, similar to another case I brought to your attention, I just wanted to bring this to the court and Mr. Rabb's attention. He's in custody. The offer is a withhold in time served, but there's just no way to properly communicate that to him. And it would get him out of custody with little to no collateral consequences given the withhold.
Is it possible to see if there could be an interpreter available like this afternoon at like 3 over language line to interpret in mum? Because I don't like the idea that he's sitting in jail simply because he doesn't understand the language. I mean, there's got to be a solution here.
I can try, and I know Mr. Triana was willing to work with us. So I know that 24s has been crazy, but could we please set this for this afternoon, and perhaps between language line and Mr. Triana, we can speak with him to where he'll understand?
Yes, no, we need to figure this out for him. It's not fair to him that he's sitting there because we can't figure this out. We will figure this out today, 2:15. But it probably will go at the end of the docket because it's going to be complicated. And if we can get someone on language line and say, will you guys be available at 3 and we'll call you, like, so we can reserve the time because they only have one mom interpreter at language line that last time I used them. So we want
I will call after court and get that.
Okay, perfect. Perfect. All right.
Okay. Judge, next is Paul Jordan Dunbar.
Hold on a second, Ms. Armpriester. They're what? Oh, how many do we have over there today? The Immokalee jail is apparently locked down and quarantined, so we can only do one at a time, and this gentleman is in Immokalee.
He's in Immokalee. I mean, I don't know how many others we have, but we can only bring one at a time, and then it takes about another 7 to 10 minutes to bring another, just to give you.
Do I have anybody this afternoon? Do I have anybody this afternoon on pleas that's at Immokalee jail? Do we know?
I'm not too sure.
I'm going to set him for 3 o'clock because usually we're done by 3.
No, I mean, you send for 2:15, so we have.
Oh, okay.
They don't bring them one.
They'll bring them one at a time. Okay.
Let's just do it 2:15, but I just want to give you a heads up.
Yeah.
We can only bring one at a time.
Oh, I didn't even realize that's why they were doing it that way. Okay.
Yeah, it's just the past couple of days.
I've noticed that.
And then we have to go get the other box, so it takes some time.
Okay.
Just
Well,
to give you a heads up.
That's okay. Well, you know what? We'll spend the time and we'll figure it out. All right, so Mark Darius is the one that you wanted to set for a plea. Is that right, Ms. Armpriester? 20
Yes,
MM
please.
1568, 1023 at 1:30. All right, now we figured that out. How about Marcel Dumel? Oh no,
He
that's regional counsel.
has Mr. Clark.
Yeah, I'd say that. 20 CT 962, Paul Dunbar Watson.
Judge, Mr. Dunbar Watson has a pending Lee case with depositions with Miss Carolyn Garber. It's a no valid, I think he can try to work on his license, but regardless, because of the pending felony, may we please have 422?
Any objection, Mr. Rabb?
Your Honor, I have no objection. I am, however, showing that I guess the defendant was able to get a valid, this is Paul Dunbar Watson?
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't he able to get a valid Indiana driver's license?
He was.
And Your Honor, the state was able to confirm that through our investigator. There is an amended plea offer for him that I will convey to Ms. Armpriester.
Okay, because I think as soon as he can move back to Indiana, that is his primary homeland.
Okay, then let's move Mr. Dunbar to 422 at 9, and hopefully we can get that resolved by then. And if you work out a plea, we can set it on that March 23rd date.
Great.
All right, Gerald Duncan, 20 CT 2309.
Set for plea?
1023 or 323 at 9. Well, I was gonna set it out a long time. Cheryl Estalone, 20 CT 1380.
I could please have the 422 date, Your Honor. This is somewhat of a newish case for me.
Any objection, Mr. Rabb?
No objection, Your Honor.
422 at 9. Donald Fields, 20 MM 1588.
Mr. Fields is in custody. Mr. Fayette represents him on a pending felony. We've been trying to, long story short, can we have 422? We're going to try to work this into the felony. And there's not a plea offer relayed yet.
Any objection, Mr. Rabb?
No, Your Honor. Just for the record, the state has been attempting to get in contact with the victim, which is the delay for the offer.
Okay. April 22nd at 9. Robert Filer, 20 MM 752.
Judge, if we could set this for trial.
Any preference, the first or second week?
Second.
So it'll be 219 for status, 32 for trial.
And the state has no conflicts, Your Honor.
Perfect. All right, how about Jacob Frangic, 20 CT 75?
Judge, I recently have gotten in contact with him as of yesterday. There is an offer, but it involves jail and probation. If we could have the 422 date, and I'm sure we could get something worked out before then, and we might be able to put him on a plea date.
Any objection, Mr. Rabb?
No objection, Your Honor.
422 at 9. All right, how about Quincy Green, 20 MM 961?
We set for trial the second week.
Mr. Rabb, any conflicts?
I'm confirming right now, Your Honor. Thank you for asking.
Sure. I didn't ask you the last time, so I thought I should this time.
No, I appreciate it. Your Honor, the state has no conflicts. The second week is fine by us.
219 for status, 32 for trial. All right. Next we have Thomas Guevara, 20 MM 933.
Judge, Mr. Guevara is working on the ACF milepost class. His plea deal will improve should he complete that before the plea. So if we could have April 22nd, please.
Any objection, Mr. Rhodes?
No objection, Your Honor.
422 at 9. All right. How about Juan Hernandez Cruz, 20 CT 2371?
Your Honor, this case, there is an immigration issue. He's in custody and he did have a pending ERC case. I'm just not comfortable resolving it until I speak with his immigration attorney. If we could have the 422 date.
Any objection, Mr. Rad?
No objection, Your Honor.
422 at 9. All right, next we have Jorge Hidalgo Gonzalez, 20 MM 698. What are we doing for Mr. Gonzalez?
Judge, I've been working on a motion and trying to discuss it with my client, but he doesn't live locally. I would like to have a final continuance to April 22nd, if possible.
Any objection, Mr. Rad?
No objection, Your Honor.
April 22nd at 9.
That's for a final?
A final continuance, yes. And then we have Jerome Hillman. He has two cases, 20 mm 897, and he also has 21 mm 59, which looks like it's a brand new case.
Judge, it's not totally new, but from where I came in on it, and there was a big portion of time where we didn't have good contact information for Mr. Hillman. If we could have the 4/22 date, please.
Any objection, Mr. Rabb?
No objection, Your Honor.
4/22 at 9 on both cases. All right, the next one we have is Robert Holloway, and he's got two cases as well. 20 CT 791 and 20 CT 1066.
Judge, he's in custody, I believe, in Lee County pending revocation hearing with, I believe, Judge Porter. If we could have the April date.
Any objection, Mr. Rabb?
No objection, Your Honor.
April 22nd at 9. All right, and then we have Amanda Howes, 20 mm 547.
She's signing up for diversion tomorrow.
So you want to put her on the April 22nd?
That's fine as a control date.
Any objection, Mr. Rabb?
No objection, Your Honor.
There'll be a final continuance if she doesn't complete diversion.
Understood, Your Honor. Part of that is on me with why her case was so old with diversion. I didn't realize she was diversion eligible for quite a while.
Oh, that's okay. Anybody that's over Zoom, that's the case has not been called, needs to mute their microphone. And I see two people whose microphone is not, actually three people whose microphone is not muted. Mr. Marceline, Mr. Taboda, and Mr. Moya, you need to mute your microphones, please. And Mr. Alvarez. Thank you. Thanks, folks. Mr. Moya, I need you to mute your microphone, sir. All right, he's not, definitely not muting. Couldn't you, Mr. Moya, can you hear me? All right, he's going in the waiting room. All right, next would be, okay, we didn't address that one. Stephen Hutton, 20 mm 334 and 20 mm 1020.
Your Honor, I believe we can set this case for a plea.
Both of them?
Yes.
323 at 130. Jill Hudson. Did I miss her?
Judge, we continued her. There was a hearing that we had on Tuesday, and she was given the 4/22 date because she is pending substance abuse evaluation.
Okay, I don't remember that, but I guess we addressed it. We must have addressed it the other day, and I forgot. 4/22 at 9. All right, how about Annabelle Ickes, 20 mm 1339.
Judge, a diversion contract should be sent to Mr. Cruz later today.
So you're asking me for 4/22?
Yes, please.
Any objection, Mr. Rad?
Objection, Your Honor.
4/22 at 9. All right, Tristan Johnson, 20 CT 1731.
Judge, if we could have a continuance to 4/22, I've recently been in touch with Mr. Johnson, and I'm having the videos mailed to him.
Any objection, Mr. Rad?
No objection, Your Honor.
4/22 at 9. Willie Jordan, 20 mm 1398.
Your Honor, we're searching for client. We've not had any luck with even our investigators getting involved.
Your Honor, if that's the case, if we could just set this for status on the 19th and require appearance.
Well, the only reason why I'm thinking I shouldn't do that is it looks like the public defender's office was just appointed on January the 8th. It's not like you guys have been his attorney for a long, long time and can't find him. So I'm tempted.
Well, then in that case, Your Honor, I agree with the court.
Yeah, I think we should set it on the 4/22 date, and that'll give you enough time, hopefully, Ms. Armpriest, to see if you can find him. And then if you can't, then maybe we'll set him for a mandatory appearance. It's just looks like you guys have only been on board with him for a month. So
I appreciate that, Judge.
Yeah, let's set it for 4/22 at 9. And all right, so next would be Anderson Keller, 20 mm 1900.
Judge, he's in custody. There's also serious competency concerns. I did draft a competency motion, and I'm in the process of having that reviewed, and it will be filed with the court and a copy sent to Mr. Rabb in the near future.
So you want this on 4/22?
Yes, Your Honor.
Any objection, Mr. Rabb?
Objection, Your Honor.
You do have an objection?
I do not have an objection, Your Honor.
Oh, okay, thank you. 4/22 at 9. All right, so next would be Jordan Lilly and 20 CT 724.
Your Honor, I've had great contact with Mr. Lilly. He has no priors. We're just trying to work out the best negotiation we can. If we could have April 22nd.
If we do April 22nd, it'll be a final continuance based on the age. Mr. Rabb, any objection?
Judge,
No
I was just appointed in December.
What's he been doing for 302 days?
He didn't have a lawyer. There was an error on his PD application. And I met him in court one day, and it appeared that he was indigent. We looked at the application. Your Honor conducted a judicial review. And that's when he had counsel.
All right. So it looks like you guys appeared on his behalf in December. December 3rd is when the notice of appearance was. So we're now 3 months later, and if I give you to April, it's 5 months, and the case is 302 days old. So I am still going to maintain that this will be a final continuance.
Yes,
and
sir.
Obviously that, you know, if Ms. Armpriester, if there are some other difficulties that you can bring up at the time, I'm just trying to get this case moving.
Yes,
I'm not going to make you go to trial if you have discovery issues or witness issues or something, but it's just kind of to say, you know, we need to put a period on this one.
I understand. And in full candor to the court, part of the issue why I'm just not trying to rush the trial is some of my in-car video is glitchy, and I don't know if that is an issue on my end or part of the video. So that's just something that I need to circle back to. But April is plenty of time. That's more than 2 months from now.
Right. And Mr. Rabb, maybe you can look at your dash cam video and see if yours is glitchy, and if not, maybe burn another copy from Ms. Armpriester,
Yes,
or
ma'am.
figure out why it's not working. Okay.
Yes, Judge, will do.
All right, sounds good. Oh, Daniel Lemon. Oh, I didn't get Daniel Lemon. It's another one. It doesn't have her name. It just says PD Public Defender. Daniel Lemon, 20MM1995. It doesn't have your name on it, Ms. Armpriester, but it does show PD appointed. And the appointment was, it looks like the application for the indigency declaration was 1-4, but that's all I see on it. So it looks like you guys were appointed, but nothing else has happened on it. It's only 65 days old. Do you want to set it on that April 22nd date to figure out what's going on?
Judge.
Any objection, Mr. Rabb?
Objection, Your Honor.
It'll be 4/22 at 9. All right. Amber Listenberger, 20MM2119.
Your Honor, I share this client with APD Christian White, and she is pending, sorry, I didn't mean to keep stuttering. She is pending acceptance into drug court. So we're just waiting on if that's an option. And if it is, I'll handle the misdemeanor through the state that way.
Okay. You're asking to put this on the April 22nd, then I take it?
Yes.
4/22 at 9. Do we have, do you know, Joe, if we have an interpreter? Because I have a feeling that the reason why Mr. Moya didn't understand me to mute his microphone is that he may speak Spanish. Okay, because I'm going to be on Mr. Moya's case in about 5-10 minutes. I just was wondering if maybe he could pop up here so we could allow him to understand what we're saying. Yeah, would you just check and see? Tell him we've got about 7 down the docket. We've got somebody who I think probably has a language barrier. All right, Artemio Lozano, and this is 20 CT 2509, Ms. Armpriester.
Yes, Your Honor. I've been trying to get in touch with Mr. Lozano. There's an offer by the state that is fine. I've just not been able to make contact with him.
And it looks like this is a pretty new case.
It is.
So I would be inclined to set this on the 4/22 date.
Agree, Your Honor, no objection.
4/22 at 9. Vita Marceline, 20MM102.
Your Honor, she was present on the Zoom. I'm not sure where she's gone. We would like to set this case for trial.
Okay, do you want to set it on the first or second week?
Doesn't matter.
Mr. Rabb?
Your Honor, state has no preference.
All right, let's set this for 3/19 for status, 3/2 for trial.
So
All right.
219 for status and 3/2 for trial?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, did I say 3/19? I meant 2/19.
And Your Honor.
Jose Antonio Lopez Gonzalez. Is that the one we just addressed? Every time when I'm done with them, I click them off and my brain has moved on to the next one. So I went to Lozano. That's the only one I have on here. I don't have a Lopez Gonzalez.
He pled already this week.
Okay.
Your Honor.
Yes, sir.
As it relates to Ms. Markeline's case 20 MM 102 that you just set,
Yes.
I don't believe you've made the announcement today, but you will not be requiring presence of the defendants at the February 19th status, correct?
Not unless I have said that they must appear.
Thank
And
you.
Your Honor, I will order the interpreter for the date. Miss Markeline's, her native language is Russian. So for the trial, I would be requesting that we do that. So I'm going to order that today through the website. I just wasn't sure how long I should make the request, if it should just be for March 2nd or if it should be the whole week.
A whole week.
Okay.
Because we're going to slot those.
Okay.
Probably the Monday before is what we'll be doing probably.
Okay.
That's my thought. And I see Miss Markeline is here.
She does understand some English, Judge. It's just very broken.
Okay.
I understand, but not everything.
Okay, wonderful, Miss Markeline. So we're setting your case for trial, okay?
Yes, okay.
All right, thank you. All right, let's see. After Miss Markeline, we have Carlos Martinez, 20 CT 576.
We could set for trial.
February 19th status, March 2nd trial. That gets us up to 15 on 3-2 and 17 still on 223. All right, Alberson Mervillas, 20 MM 1609.
Good. I'm good. I'm okay. I can leave the room. I'm Carlos Martinez, ma'am.
Yes, yes, you can leave the room, sir. Thank you for joining us this morning.
Give me
Thank
a call,
you.
Carlos.
Thank you. See you soon, Miss Amster. I appreciate you guys.
Appreciate you too.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Judge, Mr. Mervillas is in my waiting room. Could he please plea at the end of the docket?
Yes.
Great.
That's 20 MM 1609. And let's just put that down there. And then after Mr. Mervillas, why do I have that one there? Let me just move that. Why is that doing that? Hold on one second. There we go. All right. Sony Manaya Rojas, 20 MM 1699.
Your Honor, I believe Ms. Rojas is going to accept diversion.
All right. Do we want to put her on that 422 date?
Yes, Your Honor.
Any objection, Mr. Rob?
Objection, Your Honor.
422 at 9. Stanford Monpremier, 20 MM 1025.
Judge, I have had contact with Mr. Monpremier. We were going over the offer and then we just haven't decided in terms of trial or plea. Could we have a final continuance to April 22nd?
Any objection, Mr. Rab?
No objection, Your Honor.
422 at 9. All right, the next one that I see is Ruel Montes, 20 CT 1821.
Your Honor, he was present yesterday in my office with straight up new contact information. If we could have the 422 date.
Any objection, Mr. Rab?
No objection, Your Honor.
422 at 9. All right, that gets us to Mr. Moya, but I'm gonna skip him because we don't have our interpreter here yet. And I do think that he's that there must be a language barrier because he just wouldn't mute his microphone. So I just think he didn't understand me. Jose Mario Cabaracas, 2019 MM 2199. This is another really old one.
Could we, I think he was trying to call into the Zoom, Judge. Could we please call his case at the end of the docket?
Yes.
And Judge, while I understand that it is old, we still don't have an offer relayed.
All right.
That's correct, Your Honor. There is no offer at this time. We have been in constant communication with the victim. The victim is insistent that she wants a trial.
Well, that's within her right. She may not want to give him a plea offer. She may want to take it to trial. And in that event, the case will go to trial.
We are, just for the record, we are still in communication with her, and Ms. Armpriester, if we can get you an offer before a potential trial date, we certainly will.
Okay, yeah, I mean, I'll reserve my comments for off the record on whose right it is to a trial. We would still like to entertain an offer to resolve the case as it is 15 months old.
Yes, ma'am. Understood.
You know, we got that whole Marcy's Law thing. And so the court is very well aware of that. So, you know, I don't have any control over what the legislature does. When the legislature says that the victim has the right, the absolute right to participate in plea negotiations at every single stage of the trial, including the first appearance, that's what the court has to do. So
I understand, Judge, and that's where, but there hasn't been any plea negotiation. It's just been no offer, no offer, no offer. And
well, there could be a plea negotiation. The plea negotiation could be, Mr. Rabb calls her up and says, ma'am, what would you like to do? Can we offer him a plea? And she says, sure, I would like the maximum. And that's not necessarily a negotiation, but it's a statement. And, you know, we do have victims who do that, and that's what they do. So, and ultimately, when you have a trial, the sentencing, you know, you take the person's views into consideration, and you may or may not agree with them. But, you know, sometimes cases go to trial because you have a witness who, or a victim who is maybe overzealous, and sometimes you have a defendant who's overzealous, or there's all kinds of factors that lead up to cases going to trial that sometimes I, as the judge, don't have any control over, and sometimes neither do the lawyers. So,
I mean, Judge, if that's the case, then we should just go ahead and set it for this cycle, because Mr. Murillo Cabaracas has no record. This is his first incidence ever with the law. He has no adjudications, and it has been going on for 15 months. So I guess as a way to let them both have some closure, let's just go ahead and set it.
Well, and I agree. I mean, we set it, and then both of them are faced with a trial, and sometimes, you know, emotions get the better of you when you're staring down, spending a whole day in a jury trial, which is difficult on the victim, it's difficult on the defendant, it's a difficult day, and then there might be some negotiations that can be had. So why
yes,
don't
Your Honor. Mr. Like I said, Mr. Murillo Cabaracas, he's a professional. He has no record. He, just as much as the victim, would like to have this over.
Okay, so let's set this for February the 19th calendar call. I'm going to set this one on the first week, which will be February the 23rd. Okay. All right. The next one that I'm seeing is Shamiri Perry, 20mm1079. Oh wait, no, I've got to go back. The next one I have is Jonathan Nettles, 20mm623.
Your Honor, I've not had contact with Mr. Nettles.
All right, let's see what's going on with that case. Ooh.
He, the last contact we've had from our office was back in January, when client had called to state that he wasn't feeling well, but I've not been able to have contact with him since then. If we could have the 4/22 date.
I'm kind of thinking, with this being 289 days old, that I should set it for 4/19 with a mandatory appearance, just to figure out if what's going on with him. And I maybe
have myself appointed as of December.
Okay, yeah, I'm seeing that. In that event, I think I would put it to 4/22.
Thanks, Judge.
All right, let's see what's going on with him, though. I'd like to see some communication with your office. Okay, the next one that I have is Shamiri Perry, 20mm1079.
Judge, if we could have 4/22.
Any objection, Mr. Rabb?
No objection, Your Honor.
4/22 at 9. Jonas Pierre, 20mm1880.
Judge, he's in custody and he has an immigration attorney that we're trying to work on things with. I don't mind setting this for trial, but I would rather get to the next date to have his immigration attorney out of Miami involved.
Any objection, Mr. Rabb?
No objection, Your Honor.
4/22 at 9. Anybody that's just zoomed in, please mute their microphone. Thank you.
Hello?
Anybody who's over Zoom needs to mute their microphone, please. All right, so that was Mr. Pierre. How about Lisa Polizano, 20CO49?
Judge, the state has made an offer that includes time. I'm trying to get proof of her time when she was in Park Royal while these charges were pending. I think we'll be able to get a resolution. Can we have the April 22nd date?
Any objection, Mr. Rad?
No objection, Your Honor.
22 at 9. Mute your microphone, please. All right, I'm gonna put you guys in the waiting room. Come on. Any word on an interpreter? Because both those individuals speak Spanish. Nothing? Lisa Polizano has 2 cases, 20 CO 49 and 20 MM 522.
Yes, Judge, we'd be seeking the continuance in both matters. And again, since Ms. Polizano has been out of Park Royal, she comes by my office twice a week. She does have a working cell phone sometimes that she'll call me on. She's doing her absolute best.
Okay, wonderful. All right, yeah, we'll leave both of them set 422 at 9. How about Christy Posner, 20 CT 1787?
Set for plea, Judge?
323 at 1:30. Jaime Pupo Torres, 20 MM 20441.
My understanding is that Mr. Torres is going to be entering diversion.
So you want us to set this on the 422 date?
Yes, please.
422 at 9, unless there's an objection by Mr. Rowd.
No objection, Your Honor.
Perfect. Johnny Ramirez, 20 CT 166. Ms. Arnpriester.
Judge, Mr. Ramirez had wanted to set his case for plea at the last pretrial sometime for mid-February. However, there wasn't a date around. So if we...
Hello?
Oh, hi. Mr. Ramirez is present. Judge, if we could have a plea date, I'm sure he can consult his schedule here if the 323 date's available for him.
Sir, your attorney's asking me to schedule you for a plea. I can set you for a plea March the 23rd at 1:30. Does that date work for you, sir?
What's the plea offer?
Sir, we've already discussed it. It's the 6 months probation with the 20 days weekend work and court costs.
We didn't talk about that. We'll say.
Okay, then I'll continue. Sir, I'll continue your case. We're not going to talk about the facts or have attorney-client conversation on Zoom that's being live streamed.
Recorded.
Yes. So, Judge, I would ask to continue this matter.
Okay, folks, so here's my difficulty with this case. It's 386 days old. So we got to do a couple of things. Either we need to figure out whether there's going to be a plea offer that's going to be accepted by this gentleman, or this case needs to go to trial. Sir, if you don't like the plea offer, I'm scheduling trials right now, the week of February the 23rd and the week of March the 2nd. So what I'm willing to do is I'm willing to set this February the 19th for status. But I'm going to give you a trial date. And you're going to need to communicate with your lawyer, because right now the state's going to have to subpoena witnesses for that trial. And if you're going to accept a plea, we need to know sooner rather than later, because otherwise your case is going to trial.
Can I say something, Your Honor?
You can.
All right.
I would advise not on the record, sir, as your attorney.
Yes, but all right. May I say something, Your Honor?
You can say whatever you want, even against the advice of your attorney. She just puts on the record that she doesn't want you to, but that doesn't stop you from saying whatever's on your mind, sir.
Through this pandemic and whatever thing's going on, they've been changing my public defender. They've been changing them, and some of them have different offers. So I'm like, I was wanting to take the offer they gave me way back in January. My case been going on for like you said, 300 some days.
Yeah.
And I've been told her, she's like, well, this is the other public defender. So they've been changing them, like I said. And I never agreed to this with whatever the offer was, whatever she said. And I agree.
Has the offer ever been different?
And it's hard.
Yeah, Your Honor, Mr. Ramirez, hang on. I got you. Judge, in looking at the file back when Mr. Eric Townsend was my colleague and this was his case, I'm looking at the file. It was an adjudication and a $150 fine and court costs. Or if he fixed his license, it would be amended to a no valid with an adjudication. over time, the offers have changed. As of May, there became jail involved, and then that's where I inherited the case
Changed my
and
mind.
got it down to 20.
Changing my mind. I'm going to set this for April 22nd. It's going to be a final continuance. I can understand Mr. Ramirez's frustration on this.
Yeah,
There's been multiple attorneys, both on the state side and on the defense's side. I'm going to give you guys a little bit of an opportunity to see whether you can come up with a fair resolution for this gentleman based on all of the changes that have happened. So April 22nd at 9, and sir, if you guys can come up with a resolution of your case. Before then, I will set you for a plea date, but I think you and your lawyer need to do a little more talking, and probably the 2 lawyers that are also for the state and the defense might need to do a little bit of talking too. So
And
we're
Your
going to set April 22nd. Yes, sir.
Your Honor, just for the record, I can clarify why the offer changed, and that is because the initial offer that was given did not meet statutory minimum requirements based on Florida statute.
So that you're saying that there's a minimum jail term that's required by Florida statute on the driving while license suspended, canceled, or revoked, but there was also a suggestion that perhaps this gentleman might qualify for having the lesser charge if he was able to fix his license, which I'm guessing he hasn't been able to do yet. But I'm going to give you a few more months to do it, Mr. Ramirez. So it sounds like there might be a better offer if you can figure out a way to fix your driver's license, and that might solve the problem.
Please call me Mr. Johnny. It's very, very important.
April 22nd at 9, and hopefully we'll have this all resolved.
Might I say something?
Yes, you may.
Because it's hard to get a hold of the, whenever time I call the public defender, it's hard. It keeps saying to leave a message, and I'll be trying to leave
I'll give you my direct line. You want my extension?
Yes, I need a pen. Let me get a pen.
It's really easy to remember, actually. The extension is 8324.
8324. That's the extension?
That's my extension. Call the main number, and then my extension is 8324. That'll ring up my desk.
8324.
Yep.
All right.
All right.
And I have your phone number, so I will call you back.
All righty.
All right, Mr. Ramirez, thank you for participating. It was actually
So
very
my court date is April 22nd.
That's going to be another pretrial. It's not going to be a trial. It's going to be a pretrial, and I'm hoping that by giving you guys some extra time, you can figure out a way to resolve this that's acceptable to you and everybody else. All right.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Yep. Thank you.
All right. How about Jonathan Rodriguez, 20 618?
Do I have to hang up?
Judge, Mr. Rodriguez,
I see him on Zoom too. He's connecting. Mr.
Yes,
Rodriguez, there he is.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
All right. How do you hang up?
just hit leave meeting, sir.
Oh.
Okay.
There we go. I got you. All right. What are we doing for Mr. Rodriguez?
Judge, I recently did a locate to find Mr. Rodriguez. He did show up in my office today and is present on Zoom. If we could have the 4/22 date, now that we have each other's info, I don't foresee any issues going forward.
Any objection, Mr. Rabb?
No objection, Your Honor.
4/22 at 9. I skipped Emily Rodriguez. Let me just find her. No, I gotta go back in. Emily. I did somehow skip Emily Rodriguez. 20 CT 1593.
Judge, I've spoken with Mr. Rabb at length on this case, and in looking at her driving record, so okay, Project Greenlight is coming to Collier County very soon, and I think that could help her clean up part of her issues with her license. So even though this case is old, I can submit that Ms. Rodriguez has been trying to clean up what she can to get her license done. It is very expensive. If we could see if Project Greenlight can in any way ease that financial burden, that would be really helpful to her.
So any objection to the 4/22 date, Mr. Rabb?
No objection, Your Honor. And as Ms. Armpriester stated, we have been in contact regarding this case.
Okay, so 4/22 at 9. All right, so now what are we gonna do for Jonathan Rodriguez? He's 20 618.
Judge, I've been attempting to locate him. He was in my office this morning. So now that I do have his information, I think we'll be able to have a resolution. He also has a valid medical marijuana card, and he's also registered.
And he's over Zoom too. I can see him.
Yes, Judge.
I was just, excuse me. Can I have a quick question? I was just gonna ask. I've been waiting on this almost a whole year and a half, and they can't do anything. I already did what I had to do. Like, I got my medical license. I was registered as a convicted felon. There shouldn't be no problem. I still can't get no offer. I can't get anything. Like, there's no offer on the table, nothing.
Mr. Rodriguez, there's an offer that doesn't take into account your marijuana license. So like I stated in my office today in court's not the time for me to negotiate with Mr. Rabb, but I will bring all that to his attention ASAP, and I'm sure he will take it into consideration and make us a fair offer.
And if you come up with a resolution, I can set you on that March 23rd plea date.
March 23rd?
I can set it for a plea if you guys come up with a resolution, and that'll allow you to come in and enter a plea if that's what you want to do, if we can get everyone on board.
Ma'am. If I can enter a plea, because I've been almost a year and a half, and it's nothing. I've been changed public defenders 3 times. I can't.
I'm sorry about that, sir. If you want to set your case for a plea without knowing what the plea offer is, that's entirely up to you. My advice is that we leave us set in April, and once I get a plea offer that's acceptable to you, then I will set your case on a plea docket.
But you don't know what the plea is? Like, what's the plea?
I'm just not comfortable stating it on something that's being streamed on YouTube. That's a confidential conversation you and I can have privately. You're entitled to that right.
But it's like everybody says, I call and I can't get. Y'all have my phone number, and then y'all say y'all can't get in touch with me, but I get in touch with y'all every week, every day, and I still can't get a response back.
Sir, the number I've had for you gets me a busy tone, and again, we're not going to do this in court on YouTube. I'm happy to call you back right after court.
Okay, that'll be fine, man.
Thank you so much.
All right.
We could leave the 4/22 date, Judge.
I think she stepped away for a second.
I'm stepping away for just a minute. I need like about a 5-minute break. If anybody else wants to take a bathroom break, I'll be right back. For a minute. All right. Hey, Mr. Rabb, if you're there, this is Judge Nicola. I'm going to step out for a minute, but I have Mr. Clark here and he wanted to talk to you. So I'm going to move it over so he can talk to you while I'm gone.
Sure.
Mr. Rabb, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you, sir?
Good. I walked over here. Ms. Griffin, Leah Marie Griffin, 20 CT 1588 is present.
Mr. Clark, I could barely hear you. If you want to move closer to the judge's computer, maybe that would help.
Can you hear me now?
A little better.
Okay. Ms. Griffin is here. 20 CT 1588.
Okay.
She has procured her license. She has that, and she'll show the judge to verify that. Is this a situation where we can get that knocked down to a no valid DL?
We certainly can with an adjudication and cost, but let me confirm the license, if you don't mind, while Judge Nicola stepped out.
So we can do that. She can go ahead and take care of the case today.
Understood. Let me just confirm via David. Not that I don't trust you, Mr. Clark.
That's fine. I have another plea at 11 over with Foster. I'm sorry?
We're not at that.
Oh, well.
No, just give you the option. Yeah, I don't know, we'll be at least in one.
That's fine. Like I said, I have to be in another court. So I may not be done with that one before.
Are you sure we halfway there?
Yeah. On the last page.
And Mr. Clark, I am showing a valid Class E license. The state will announce when appropriate an amendment of the charge to no valid driver's license with a plea offer of an adjudication and cost.
Adjudication, costs.
Cost of prosecution, court costs.
Very well. I'll go let her know. Thank you, Mr. Rabb.
Thank you, sir.
there? Mr. Rabb, are you still there?
I am.
Can you please pull up Nicholas Reed, his diversion affidavit? I'm going to email you something that I think might be able to. I'm not sure if this was ever originally sent to you, so I'm going to go speak to him in the lobby, but I wanted to send this to you just before we do that.
Okay.
All right, it's sent, and then I'm going to step out and go talk to him. But in looking at the affidavit, it shows that he
that there were 2 conditions.
Yes, and I believe he
Has completed both of those.
I believe so. I'm going to go talk to him now.
Understood.
All right, thanks.
Yep.
Hello, is this me? I don't know if they're done or what.
They should be done with you.
She'll come back.
Hello? Oh, we're not, y'all done with Jonathan Rodriguez?
I can't speak to you about your case, sir, but your attorney will be back shortly.
All right.
All right. Did you guys get a chance to talk? All right, sure. Let me just come back on. All right, guys.
Hello, Jonathan Rodriguez is done.
I believe you are done, sir. Your attorney's not quite back in. He's all done, isn't he, Mr. Rabb?
Your Honor, I believe that Ms. Armbruster just asked for Mr. Rodriguez, or told Mr. Rodriguez that she will give him a call after court.
Okay, perfect. All right, Mr. Rodriguez, so you're all set. You're all set. Okay. And did I miss Gary Frizzell? I'm looking here and I see her name on that one too. I missed that one too. I'm like going back over my docket. All right, we'll call him next when Ms. Armbruster comes back on.
Judge?
Yeah?
When do you think that, I have one person who's going to take a plea, when do you think that's going to be ended?
I have no idea. I still am looking like, I feel like I have like 30 left, but I'm getting through them as quick as I can. As soon as I'm done with the attorneys, then I got to go through all these pro se people, and some I have on Zoom. I don't have any more on Zoom, but I have a list of people that I'm supposed to call. No, because I probably won't be done until probably at least like 11:15. You want to go do your stuff with Judge Foster first, and then come. Sure.
Hey, I'm Andy. I'm still here. I just wanted to check and see.
Is there here? Anybody who's over Zoom needs to mute their microphone, please. We're in open court. Oh, okay, okay. Because I was saying we don't have Ms. Armbruster back yet, so I was gonna say I could just take it real quick right now if she was here. Of course, that happens, right?
Your Honor.
Okay. Anybody who's over Zoom, please mute. Yes, Mr. Rabb, sorry.
No, no worries, Your Honor. I believe that Mr. Taboda was trying to ask you a question, who just logged into Zoom. I think that was the chatter you were hearing.
Oh, okay. Thank you. It looks like I've got somebody else that's just logged in. All right, let me just find Mr. Taboda. Hold on a second. And Mr. Taboda, you're represented by the Office of the Public Defender by Ms. Armpriester, so I can't answer any questions for you, sir, until she's in the room. She's not in the room right now. As soon as she gets in the room, I'm happy to take whatever questions you want, but because you have an attorney, I can't take them right now until she's back. All right, let's see. Maybe I'll start since she's out of the room. I'm maybe going to call a few of these pro ses. Let's see. I'm going to call Ms. Boucher. This is 20 CT 706. And is the state ready on this case, Mr. Rabb?
I'll wait until you hang up, Your Honor.
Okay, I'm not getting through, but I'm gonna, because I'm asking that because I'm probably gonna leave her a message and set it if you are.
Your Honor, the state has no conflicts. Based on the age of the case, we are ready. I do have a note in here that you needed to leave a voicemail at the January pretrial conference as well.
Yeah.
We will make contact with the defendant.
All right. I have an email for her too, so I will have Jen email her if we can't get a hold of her.
Yes, Your Honor.
I'm back, Your Honor. Thank you.
Hi, Ms. Armpriester. Hi there. I just called Avavitha Boucher, which is 20 CT 706. She's like the first person on my docket. And I've got phone number and an email for her, but I can't reach her by phone. What I'm going to do in her case is I'm going to set her for February 19th at 9 a.m. It's going to be a mandatory appearance to set her case for trial. So could you email her? I've got her email on the, and I'll bring the spreadsheet back with me because she needs to understand that she's going to need to be here. Because I can't get her on the phone. I left her a message last time, and so her case is 308 days old. It's time we need her to appear and let her know that her trial will go either the week of February the 23rd or the week of March 2nd.
Okay.
All right? Hopefully that'll get us some movement.
Got it.
Thank you. Bye. All right, so that one's set.
Your Honor, may the state request March 2nd by any chance?
Yes, March 2nd. We'll set it for March 2nd.
Thank you, Your Honor. Just
Thank
so we
you.
can subpoena our witnesses for that week.
No problem. Ms. Armpriester, I missed one. I missed Gary Frizzell, 20 CT 2570.
Speaking of continuance, Your Honor, it's a newer case and there's some discovery that the defense will be sending the state. Mr. Rabb, his prescription was valid at the time. I'll send you proof of that.
Thank you, ma'am.
Then we'll set this for April 22nd at 9.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. All right, I was skipping that one. How about Luidor Romaine, 20mm 2083?
Judge, he was present in my office. I'm sure you can tell there, in looking, there's a history of mental health issues. I believe competency may be appropriate. If I could have the 4/22 date to evaluate that.
Any objection, Mr. Rabb?
No objection, Your Honor.
4/22 at 9. All right, next would be Gabriella Rossinelli, 20mm 1927. Oh, wait a minute, nope. Oh no, that's right, all right. Yep. What are we doing for Ms. Rossinelli?
Judge, if we could continue this to April 22nd, we would like to set this for a trial, but there's something that I want to look into.
Any objection, Mr. Rad?
No objection, Your Honor.
Or 22 at 9.
Your Honor, may I ask the state a question? If back to Ms. Rosanelli very quickly.
Sure.
Is there a witness issue with him being an ex-Leo, or have you still been able to have contact with him?
No, we have a forwarding address for
Okay.
the witness. I believe that was provided to you.
Okay, great. Thank you.
All right, and then Nerseline Rosenberg, 20 mm 1296.
Judge, we're still waiting on a plea offer.
Is that right, Mr. Rab?
Checking right now, Your Honor. Apologies. My phone just rang and I muted it.
That's okay.
Um,
New to our Zoom meeting needs to mute their microphone, please.
Yes, Your Honor. I need to make contact before I'm comfortable extending the offer. We do have a proposed offer, but because there is a victim in this case, we just want to confirm that. And I'm reading the notes from this past fall. So apologies for the delay, Ms. Armpriester, and to the court.
For what it's Miss Rosenberg is in the nursing field, and the sooner we could try to resolve this, the better, because having this hold up has really put a damper on her job. And the way with the pandemic now, we need all the nurses and CNAs working we can get. And so if we could expedite this, we would appreciate it.
Will do. Please shoot me an email.
Yep.
Thank you.
You guys can resolve it. I'll set it for a plea. All right. How about Joseph Ruisi, 20 mm 409?
Judge, we want to set this for a plea, but the March 23rd date isn't going to work. I've already spoken with Mr. Rab. Mr. Ruisi is going out of town to see his mother for her 90th birthday, and he will be out of town that part of March. But we probably could do the February 19th date.
That's fine. Set it February 19th. We'll take it as a plea.
Great.
Works. How about Luis San Juan Garcia, 20 mm 1850?
I'm not showing that one, Your Honor. I'm wondering if it's a new appointment.
It says it's 87 days. San Juan Garcia is the last name, and it's, oh, wait a minute. Now it says Gabrielle Valise. Did we move this one? Okay. Let's see what happened here.
What's the case number, Your Honor?
It's 20 mm 1850. Why does it say? Let's see here. I'm trying to figure out whether your office represents him or whether it's Mr. Valise that represents him. I can't figure that out. Notice of appearance, 11/23.
Your Honor, I did have communication with a private attorney back in December. That was Mr. Valise. I think the issue is that there may be a pending BOP case as well that the public defender's office is representing him on.
Well, this looks like Mr. Valise filed a notice of appearance, and then he applied for the public defender and was granted the public defender, and then a notice of appearance was filed by the public defender's office in December of 20. So right now it's showing two attorneys of record, Mr. Valise, who filed way back when, and then Ms. Armpriester, who filed in December. So we've got, actually, weirdly, there's a notice of appearance of the public defender, 11/19 of 2020, 11/23 of 2020. There's a notice of appearance. Wait a minute. What's the motion order to withdraw? And then there's a motion in order to withdraw from the office of the public defender on 11/30. And then 12/17 of 20, there is an application for indigent status, which is granted. And then there's another notice of appearance by the office of the public defender, 12/21/20. Problem is, Mr. Valise has never formally withdrawn. But we probably need to get him to do so because he hasn't been present for this defendant since November of 2020. It was the public defender appearing and then withdrawing and then reappearing again. So we just need to clean it up, I think. If
Yes,
anybody can get in touch with Mr. Valise and let him know, you just need to send me an order allowing him to withdraw.
I agree with that. And just for the court's knowledge, Your Honor, I believe the reason for the confusion is that it appears this case is the basis for a felony BOP where, again, the defendant is represented by the public defender's office.
Okay. All right. So are you showing this one as being yours, Ms. Armpriester, or no?
I'm not.
Okay. Well, it definitely is from what I'm seeing. So I think what we should do for this one is, it's a relatively new case. Let's set it to the 4/22 date, and that'll allow us to get the file cleaned up with respect to Mr. Valise and whatever's happening with him. And that'll allow you, Mr. Armpriester, some time to see what's going on with this case too, if you are in fact staying on the case.
Okay.
All right, how about Gregory Seymour, 20 MM 1677?
I believe he's on the call, Judge.
Mr. Seymour, are you there?
He was present in my office this morning, Your
Yes.
Honor.
Hey, how you doing, Your Honor?
Fine, how are you, sir? You all right?
Hey, I'm doing good. How you
You
doing?
look like you're at the bottom of a swimming pool. Just have it, all I see is like.
Oh yeah, I'm working out here, man. I'm sorry about that.
That's okay. I just don't see you. All I see is a blue
Can you hear me?
background. That's okay. I can hear you for sure.
Oh, you don't.
Judge,
You can't see me at all.
Can't see you at all. Nope.
Oh man, I don't know what's going
That's
on.
all right. I can hear you. Hearing you is okay. So what are we going to do for Mr.
Oh,
Seymour?
okay.
Judge, I don't have an offer in this matter. If we could have the new date, and Mr. Seymour was present today, and I got good contact info for him.
All right. So do we want to set this for the next pretrial?
Yes, and I'm sure Mr. Rabb will send me over an offer.
Certainly will.
All right. Mr. Rabb, any objection to putting this on 4/22?
No objection, Your Honor. Apologies for the delay.
And Mr. Seymour, if the attorneys are able to resolve your case with a plea offer, I will have some plea dates for you to be able to come in and accept a plea. We just don't have a current offer yet to allow you to do that, but the attorneys assure me that they're working hard to try and come up with something that'll be satisfactory to you, sir, okay?
All right, thank you.
All right, thank you for calling in this morning.
All right, I'm all set.
Talk to you soon, Gregory.
All right, thank you. I appreciate it. Have a good day.
All right, bye.
All right.
All right. How about Joshua Smith, 20 MM 738?
Judge, I think this is a relatively, oh, I misspoke.
No, it's not new, definitely.
Yeah. Your Honor, I'm going to ask for a final continuance.
Any objection, Mr. Rabb?
No objection, Your Honor.
April 22nd at 9. John Spears, 20 CT 802.
Judge, this is an interesting matter. I've not had any contact with him. My office has attempted numerous times to contact his bail bondsman, and that specific bail bondsman is just not helpful on any cases. So this case is old. We don't have an offer yet, and I've not been able to maintain contact with him. I would ask for the 4/22 date, despite the length of this case. I believe it is from late October.
Mr. Rabb, any objection?
Yes, Your Honor. Based on the age and the charge with the mandatory minimum of jail time for it, the state would, and as Ms. Armpriester stated, the public defender's inability to be able to contact the defendant, the state would require the presence on the 19th and set this for the second week.
I think what we'll do is we'll require his presence on the 19th, but I'm not going to set it based on the fact that Ms. Armpriester hasn't been able to communicate with him, which means she's not ready.
I have a better idea, Your Honor. Being that this is a CT case, might it make sense to put it on a non-jury date?
I think it's a third or more, though, so there is jail time, Ms. Armpriester. Just.
I understand. Then the 4/22 date would be our request. I'm sorry.
I'm going to set it for 2/19, mandatory appearance by him. It won't go to trial, but at least we can figure out what's going on with him and let him know that it's time to either figure out a way to resolve it or try it. It's time. So 2/19 at 9 for him, mandatory appearance. But of course, Mr. Rabb, you don't need to subpoena witnesses. It won't be going to trial. I just need to see this defendant and find out what's going on with him.
And Judge, for these mandatory appearances, would Zoom be acceptable?
It would be, yes.
Okay, great.
Yeah. When I say mandatory appearance, I'm fine with them coming in over Zoom. I truthfully do not want to have 50 people show up at court. So when I say appear in person, a Zoom appearance is fine. That way we can at least convey to them, that we need to get their case moving. All right. So next we have Arthur Sweeting, 20 CT 312.
Judge, if we could set for trial, please.
First or second week?
Second.
Mr. Rabb, any issues with the second week?
No objection, Your Honor.
All right, so this will be set for status February 19th and then trial March 2nd. All right, and then the next one I have is Andy Taboda, who I also saw was over Zoom. 19
Yes, Judge.
2820. What are we doing for Mr. Taboda?
Judge, we would like to set this matter for plea. The state has made an offer, and if we could set this for the 19th as a plea date.
February 19th at 9 for a plea.
Mr. Taboda,
I'm
did you get
sorry,
that?
February 19th, I have a DUI class that I have to attend to. So if maybe we can make it a little further down the road, maybe
We'll do March. That's fine.
March 23rd,
Okay.
March 23rd at 1:30, sir.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, we'll see you there. All right, thank you.
All righty, thank you.
Edwin Vasquez, 20 CT 1353.
Your Honor, I've attempted to make contact with Mr. Vasquez. I believe I did have contact with him sometime over the weekend. If we could set this to April 22nd.
Any objection, Mr. Reb?
Objection, Your Honor.
April 22nd at 9. Fabiola Vera, 20 MM 1740.
Judge, this is a newer case. If we could have the 4/22 date.
Any objection, Mr. Reb?
No objection, Your Honor. And for the record, I believe the defendant's present via Zoom.
Mr. Vera, are you present? Or Miss Vera?
I am.
Okay, we're scheduling your case for another pretrial, ma'am, 4/22 at 9.
Okay.
So it's just
I'll be in touch.
Right, with Ms. Armpriester. Thank you. All right, Amanda Wanamaker, 20 CT 2235.
Your Honor, we're waiting on a plea offer if we could have the April 22nd date.
Any objection, Mr. Rab?
No objection, Your Honor. And Ms. Armpriester, if you shoot me an email, I'll send you the offer.
Great.
4/22 at 9. Mark Webb, 20
Judge, his license is valid.
Mr. Rab? I have a couple of people over Zoom who are not muted. If you all wouldn't mind muting your microphone until we call your case, I would appreciate it.
Yes, Your Honor. This, I believe, should have fallen off of your docket. I thought the state had submitted a null pros on this case.
I don't see it.
Apparently it did not. However, the state does announce a null pros in case 20 CT 1404.
All right, case dismissed. All right, Nicole Webb, 20 MM 356.
Brief moment, Your Honor. Your Honor, it appears my client is in custody in the Monroe County Detention Center. I just got this information very recently. If I could have the 4/22, and I'll be in touch with her.
Any objection, Mr. Rab?
No objection, Your Honor.
I think this will be a final continuance. This one's over a year old. Well, no, it's close to a year old.
And Judge, she's in custody in another county.
Okay, then I forget that. I'm just going to continue it until we figure out what's going on with her.
Thank
4/22 at 9. Booker Wright, 20 MM 1461.
Your Honor, we're looking to resolve this to effectively accredit time served. Mr. Rab, I know, has made representations to me that he's just getting final victim sign off. Mr. Wright is in custody, so I'm hoping that we'll be able to get this resolved by Friday so that Your Honor could hear the plea.
Okay. So do you want me to set it for the 4/22 date, and then also you're gonna set it for Friday if you get a hold of him, or what do you doing?
I think that's a safe. I think that's a safe plan. I just would really like to keep this on the state's radar so that hopefully he can get out of custody as soon as possible.
And I believe I emailed you this morning, Ms. Armpriester, which is effectively a time served offer from my understanding of our prior conversations, but let me know if you disagree.
No, if that's the case, then Your Honor, can we set this for 2:15 today?
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Rab.
Absolutely.
All right, and then Ms. Armpriester, you have Jose Moya, who was on before, but he's not on anymore.
Judge, I don't have any representations as it makes.
I'm here, ma'am.
We have him. Hold on, where's Mr. Moya?
Right here, ma'am.
Okay, wonderful. This is case number 20 CT 1364. And what are we doing for Mr. Moya?
Judge, I know this case is a little bit older. It is a second offense DWLS. I'm not sure if this is something, while we have Mr. Moya on, if he wants to resolve for a $250 fine or if he wants to seek a continuance so that he can try to get his license valid.
Mr. Moya?
I would prefer to give me some more time, see if I can get my license. I haven't tried and got my license yet. That would be nice if I could get it.
Judge, if we could have the April 22nd date, that would give him roughly 2 months to try to get his license reinstated, and we could come to court on that date with some proof of progress.
Okay, 422 at 9, unless there's an objection from Mr. Rabb.
No objection.
And Your Honor, given the timeline of this, I also think Mr. Moya may potentially benefit from Project Greenlight. So I'll get in touch with him to see what he may qualify for with that program.
Okay, sounds good. And Ms. Armbruster, it looks like you have Javier Alvarez, who's joined us late. I think we already discussed his case, but he's muted up in the left-hand corner. His case is 20MM 2064. I think we put him on 422. Is that right?
We did, Judge. If we could just relay that to him on the call.
Yep, Mr. Alvarez, your case was one of the first cases we called this morning, as you were third on the docket. So your case was called probably right at 9 o'clock. Your case was set for a pretrial 422 at 9, sir.
Right.
Okay.
I'll be in touch with you, Javier. And then, Judge, also on the call, we already called the case. Nicholas Bishop, 20 CT 1178. Judge, while I did get a continuance to April, I believe he would like to set this for a plea.
Mr. Bishop, do you want to set your case for a plea? If you do, I can set you March 23rd at 1:30.
All right, that's fine.
CT 1178. You want to set it for a plea, sir?
Yeah, there's no sooner date?
Unfortunately, there is not. Well, actually, there is. There's next Friday at 9.
There's no sooner date than that?
You could come in next Friday at 9.
What is it?
February 19th at 9 a.m.
All right, yeah, that's fine.
All right, set you there, 219 at 9.
Thank you.
Am I done here, Your Honor?
Who's that?
Jose Moya?
Oh,
You're
yes,
good.
sir, you're done. Uh-huh.
Okay.
Thank you,
Thank
Mr.
you,
Bishop. Mr. Bishop and Mr. Alvarez, you both can sign out of the meeting as well.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thanks.
Thank you. And all right, let's see. We've got Ms. Rossinelli on board. I need to find her case. Did we address her case? The last name's Rossinelli, and I don't remember. Oh, there we go. Ms. Rossinelli, your case was already addressed earlier as well, 20MM 1927. What did we do for Ms. Rossinelli? Did we move her? Your case was continued until April the 22nd at 9 to allow you to have more conversations with your attorney.
Judge, my understanding also is that Ms. Rossinelli is eligible for diversion. Count 1 has been null pros the battery, but count 2, the resisting, she would be eligible for diversion.
Okay, do you understand that, Ms. Rossinelli?
Yes.
Okay.
Call
So
me
your case-
later, Gabriella. We'll speak on the phone later today.
Okay, sounds good.
All right, thank you, Ms. Rossinelli.
Thank you. Am I able to sign out?
Yes, you can.
Okay,
So
thank you.
Who's at the bottom of the screen on 786-218-0901? Who's at the bottom? Got somebody on a cell phone. Somebody on the cell phone, you there? Hitting the ask to unmute button, nothing's happening.
Yes, I'm here. I'm here, Your Honor.
What's your name?
Jose Murillo. I'm so sorry. Like I was trying to go on the Zoom, but I couldn't, so I had to make a call.
Judge, I believe this is Jose Murillo Cabracas.
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
and
ma'am.
we set his case for trial. If we could just inform him of that on the record, please.
Yes, sir. We've set your case for trial. There's a status on February the 19th at 9, which is going to be done by Zoom through the attorneys. You do not need to appear, but your case is being set for trial. The trial will go, did we set it the second week? I don't remember. Maria,
It was the second week, Your Honor, I believe.
Yep, so sir, your case will go to trial the week of March the 2nd, sir.
Oh, no, Your Honor, I actually have it for the first week. I
Oh,
apologize.
I'm sorry. All right, I misspoke. Your case is set for the first jury trial week, which is the week of February the 23rd.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome, Your Honor.
All right, let's see here.
Bye-bye.
That leaves us with, Mr. Armpriester, you have somebody who's going to do a plea, right?
Yes, I will come down with him momentarily.
All right, and then I've still got Mr. Clark. I've got your cases that we need to address, and then I've got a bunch of pro ses that I need to look at too.
So I'll go ahead and come down with Mr. Mervelis, and then we'll go from there.
All right, Mr. Clark, do you have people before we do your plea that you wanted to address? Or yes, who's your plea first of all? All right, and then let's start with Marcel Dumel, 20 mm 1570.
Yes, I just spoke to Mr. Dumel on the phone. We are currently in the courthouse. He was going to stop in court. So he got my number. I spoke with him. He wants to resolve his case. I do have a little negotiation that I need to do with Mr. Ram. However, I believe it's going to be a plea one way or the other. So we can set it in the March date.
March 23rd at 1:30.
I'll be in touch with Mr. Ram about that one.
Okay. And I may end up staggering some of these folks depending on how many people I end up on that plea docket. I may end up having Jen call you and say we've got too many at 1:30, so we maybe we're like 1:32, 2:30, but I'm not sure yet. We'll see how many we have on there. All right, then next, what about Francisco Grimaldo Badillo, 20 CT 890?
Yes, Judge, I just put in my notice of appearance yesterday on these two cases. I'll ask for the next court date on this, and I'll be with Mr. Rapp to negotiate resolution.
That's right, we do have two, 20 mm 1987. Mr. Rabb, any objection to moving this to that 22nd date?
The April 22nd date?
Yes, sir.
No, ma'am, Your Honor.
All right, both cases.
Apologies, I didn't know if Mr. Clark was asking to set it for trial for the week of February 22nd.
No, he said he thinks there might be a resolution, but wanted to move it to a pretrial to see if you guys could figure it out, which works for me. April 22nd at 9 on both cases. Oh, I just got out of it. Wasn't it Grimaldi?
Grimaldo Badillo, and one of them is 20 CT 890, and the other one is it's a different spelling name, Francisco Javier Grimaldo. Under one is Grimaldo Badillo, and the other one is Grimaldo.
Okay, and we're sending them both for this one.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Thank you.
Case number for 20 mm 198.
How about Waldo Leyva Montagudo, 19 mm 1673?
Still having a little difficulty getting in touch with Mr. Leyva Montagudo. He's Waldo Leyva.
Yeah, that's the wares, right? Gotcha. Took me a minute. It's been a long day. It's only 11:10. I know it's the same joke every time, and I still don't get it. I don't know.
Judge, again, I need the interpreters who is shown and also on them, so we could set it for the next date.
Oh my goodness, you can't find. I mean, this one is really, really old.
Yeah, and Judge, I think I'm going to hit the linesman and see if they can track me down somehow. I don't know if you have a.
Well, what I've been doing with individuals that are this old is I've been setting them for February the 19th with an order to appear to see if we can get them here, because in looking at this, let's see if we can find a bondsman on here.
And Your Honor?
Surety bail bonds. He's out on $1,000 bond, 8/26/19. Yes, Mr. Ab.
Your Honor, this is for 19 mm 1673.
Yes.
Understanding the age of this case, one of our law enforcement witnesses has relocated to Georgia. And it appears that she's in training and has been in training since the beginning of December and will not end until the middle of April.
We'd like to set up a trial immediately.
Well, my thought is, I'm going to set it on the 19th. It won't go to trial, but at least that way we can put eyes on Mr. Montagudo and figure out why we can't seem to find him, and convey to him that he needs to be in touch with his lawyer, because no way the lawyer can't try a case without the cooperation and communication of the client. So I think I'm going to set this for February 19th, order him to appear, can be by Zoom, but we just need to know where he is. Because this case is way too old to be sitting here. And, I don't know if he's just forgotten about it, but we need to remind him that it's still there.
That'll also help with they know that it's a mandatory.
They'll want to hunt them down. They want to keep their $1,000, right? All right. So the next, I'm going to start just going through the pro ses. Yes, sir.
One more thing, so for purposes of Mr. Levy, is that a status? Or
That's a status. Yeah, because we won't be able to subpoena witnesses and stuff for trial. We're just trying to give him a mandatory court appearance, find out why he hasn't been communicating with the court or anybody else, and just let him know that his case is so old that it needs some resolution, whether it's going to be a plea or a trial, that we're pushing it forward. All right? Yes. Yeah, we'll wait on this Griffin. I've got like 10 pro ses. I just want to go through real quick, see what's going on with them. The first one that I have is Jason Cruz, 20MM686. Mr. Cruz, I do not have a phone number for. Looks like there was request review of indigent status.
Your Honor, the defendant was also supposed to send documentation of diversion completion. It does not look like the state has received that.
Proceeding pretrial.
So can you remove your sunglasses?
Okay. Deferred prosecution complete? No. I'm not seeing a bunch of failures to appear from this gentleman, so. It looks like he was, it doesn't show that he wasn't here in January, so.
He was here in January, Your Honor, and I do appear to have a phone number for the.
He was here or he wasn't here?
He was. He appeared, it may have been telephonically, but he did appear. I do have a phone number from the diversion contract.
Yeah, what's his phone number? I'll call him.
It's 239.
Yeah?
307.
Okay.
8709.
All right. Let's see if we can get him on the phone.
Your call has been forwarded to an automated voice messaging system. 23930787709 is not available. The mailbox is full and cannot accept any messages at this time.
Fantastic. All right, Mr. Rabb, I am inclined to continue this to April 22nd to see what's going on with him. We haven't had a trouble with him appearing. I'm going to give him.
I agree, Your Honor. I think a renotice is appropriate.
Yeah, we'll renotice him. All right, then the next one we have is Matthew Dobbins, 20CO76 and 20MM775. Any information on him, Mr. Rabb? Oh, wait a minute. I do have a phone number for him. Although I have a note here that says 3061713 may be a bad phone number for him.
The case one more time, Your Honor, the name?
Dobbins, there's two of them. 20CO76 is one of them. And
20MM775.
Yes. And I have a note on here that says maybe bad phone number, send letter, and I'm not convinced that that ever happened. Because I don't remember doing it, and usually I do.
Yes, Your Honor.
Let's see, where is
the last court note I have in here, Your Honor, for at least 20MM775 was a continuance to December 3rd.
Yeah.
States that Ms. Maturino put the offer on the record, that you advised the defendant that you had his phone number from the last pretrial conference and that you would call him at the next one, and then a continuance at December to January.
Yeah, and I think I might have written his phone number down wrong. Let's try it again. All right. I actually am making a note this time so that a letter goes out informing him of the next court date. So I'm going to continue this to the April the 22nd date at 9 a.m. with a letter coming from my judicial assistant informing him that he needs to give us a good number or zoom in so that we can make sure that he's able to appear, because I think I probably wrote his phone number down wrong.
Yes, Your Honor. And if there is another FTA, the state will be requesting a bench warrant.
Understand. Number. All right, then we have Adolfo Garcia Lopez. Do I have a phone number for him? Yeah, he's in jail. Mr. Garcia Lopez in jail? My note on here from last
Yes,
time was
I have defendant FTA because he was in custody, judge provisionally appointed assistant public defender.
okay, good. Yeah, he's been in jail, so let's see what's going on with him. On a DUI first offense enhancement enhanced. This might be one that we want to take a look at, because it looks like if he's been in jail the whole time, he's pretty much maxed out on his jail time, I think.
He is getting there, Your Honor. It would be, looks like it's personal property, so it would be a maximum sentence of a year.
Oh, is it a year? Well, he's
Yes,
at
Your Honor.
2.1 right now, so.
Yes, Your Honor. With the crash, it would be a year.
Yeah, it just shows up on my dashboard without me going into it as a 0.15 or accompanied by a minor or with property damage. So with the crash, yeah, but we still probably should figure out what we want to do with this. Got the public defender. I said public defender temporarily appointed. I think what we need to do is convey to them over in the jail. I don't know how we do this, Joe, that we need to get him to make application, because he hasn't made an application for the public defender and he's in jail. You know what? Let's do with this one. Let's bump this to 215 today, because I think I need to let Mr. Lopez know that if he wants to have an attorney help him, that he's going to need to file that application. Boy, I'm loading him up for myself today. All right, then we have Dennis Gomez. Let's see, do I have a number for Dennis Gomez? Yes, I do. Oh, it's 71. And this is 20 mm 1630.
You have reached the voicemail box of 2396.
We had spoken to this gentleman earlier, Your Honor.
What's that?
7.
I thought this was one of the gentlemen that appeared in person and made statements on the record, but
I don't remember. He gave me his phone number though last time. Hi, Mr. Gomez. It's Judge Nicola. I'm calling you from court today. Your case is set for a pretrial at 9 a.m. this morning, case number 20 mm 1630. I'm also going to try your business number. If I don't get a hold of you, your case right now is on my pretrial docket. We need to figure out whether you are going to, in fact, want to have your case go to trial. So I'm going to try your business number. This is the mechanic who was here. Is this the same guy, Dennis Gomez? That was the same guy? Oh, I already called him? Oh, he's the one that was the first one with the hands? And I didn't cross him off. All right. Yes, I will. I definitely remember him. Yes. Okay. Madison Newton. Do I have a phone number for her? Yes. No. I only have an email for her. All right. Madison Newton is 20 mm 990. I'm pretty sure that we did not email her. Newton. Need to email the new court date. I'm going to set her for that 4/22 date too. And I also have a note on here to have my JA email her the new court date so that she understands that she's going to need to appear either by Zoom or we need to call her. We can't just email her.
yes, Your Honor.
All right. The next one we have is Atiana Parker. I do not have a good number for her. This is 20 CT 1951. Let's see what's been happening with her. Notice undeliverable, defendant not present. Let's start at the beginning. Booking sheet 1015. (518) 3rd Avenue South, St. Petersburg, Florida. What does your citation say? 518 3rd Avenue South, St. Petersburg, Florida. All right, let's see what her driving record says. 1741 C 55th Terrace, Southwest, St. Petersburg, Florida. Different address on her driving record. Oh, let's see what her address says on her bond. You don't put that on the bond information. Notice to appear. Into that 518 3rd Avenue South. Notice returned 1110. Bless you. Bless you. All right. Usually what I'll do is if I got a different address on the driving record than I do on the booking sheet is I'll continue it to send notice to both, but it doesn't look like I did that, which I don't know why I didn't, but that's what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to continue this to April the 22nd, 9 a.m. and ask, bless you, that she received notice both at 518 3rd Avenue South, St. Petersburg, which is interesting. It says insufficient address. So maybe it's an apartment complex. I don't know. But also the other address that's on her driving record, which is 1741 C 55th Terrace South, St. Petersburg, 33712. And then if we can't get her then we may be issuing a warrant. All right, next we have Walter Ross, 20 CT 606. Do I have a number for him? Oh yeah, I already dealt with him. Yep, we already dealt with Mr. Ross, so we're good. He's the one with the car that was sold for parts. Larry Sanchez, 20 CT 2014. And
we also, I believe, dealt with
with them too. All right, folks, before I take these, please, I just want to take about a 2-minute break because I made lunch plans, which I never, ever, 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 ever do. And whenever I do it on those rare multiple evers, I'm always waiting for it. So I'll be right back.
How many do we put on for this afternoon?
I think there's 2. Like 100.
We're all quarantined now. That guy, Alfredo Garcia Lopez, was just given him a public defender form. Because I'm gonna let the jail know. Yeah.
That's the best protection, going all the way to your head.
There's no protection.
Now they said that you have to do it double.
Yeah, never.
The,
And now we're nothing but.
the cloth and then
I don't care what they say.
first you have the cloth and then you have to wear the.
I'm not wearing that.
Then you have to have some sort of like rubber band.
Nope, nothing.
CDC.
CDC, I'll put it on the record. they can go do something.
What can they do, Sheriff?
Right on the record, they can go do it. We know what to do. That's what I told the CDC.
Thomas Rivera. Continue. Continue? Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And Mr. Clark was telling me that we're gonna need 4 face masks to wear. Only 4. I told him that we'll count same. The CDC said it for adults. What is it? You try to fill out one? That's right. That's my point. You know, send it to Football coaches are always running doubles. You already know. Don't play doubles. I don't know. You already know. You know. You do, and you didn't tell me. Next time I come down, I know everything. Yeah. You're telling me. That's good. Now how you trust me? No, I was telling you. I wasn't saying in the office. I wasn't saying, you know you're telling me. You know it was. Okay, whatever. About to leave and go home. I know before we let's see what this can be.
All the time. I need a text right now, so I can get out.
He said, calm down. Calm down to the beach. It's pretty angry.
Yeah. Come here,
Yeah.
well, you stopped responding to my Ashley Pizza pictures, and I took that really personally.
Tiffany?
Yeah, you say by the dog. I know. That was very sad. Yeah.
But it had to go to the, this one didn't move the instrument, I guess. I know some students out there.
I actually feel like, I know he's from here, but when I live like in.
Well, Raj put it back.
Everybody, you all can be seated. All right. Okay, so we have 2 pleas this afternoon or this morning, close to afternoon. Ms. Armpriest, are you ready to go with Mr. Albertson Ravilas, 20 MM 1609? Sure, come on up, Mr. Ravilas.
Judge, we'd like to withdraw our previously entered plea of not guilty in exchange for a plea of no contest to the charge of trespass. Adjudication will be withheld, case to pay court costs, cross prosecution, and then cross defense. There's an executed plea court if I may.
I'm seeing that the charge is resisting arrest without violence, not trespass.
I misspoke. It is resisting judgment.
It's just the adjudication withheld, court costs, cost of prosecution, public defender fees? Okay, need to get you sworn in.
Raise your right hand. Raise your right hand.
Do you swear on the testimony shall give to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
May I have your license?
Ravilas, 20 MM 1609.
M-E-R. And then first name Albertson.
All right, Mr. Mervillis, could you please state your full name and your date of birth for the record?
That's the everybody's first name. rescinded of February 18, 1981.
And sir, you've been charged with resisting arrest without violence. Do you understand that that charge carries with it a maximum penalty of 364 days in the Collier County Jail? That could be the maximum that could be imposed on you. That's not what we're doing today, but it could happen if you were tried and convicted. That's the maximum sentence that the court can impose. And knowing that, how do you wish to plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest? Have you read and signed a plea form? Do you understand all the rights that you'll be giving up by entering into this plea? Do you understand all of the rights that you will be giving up by entering into this plea? Are you entering into this plea because you believe it's in your best interest? Has anyone threatened you or made you any promises to cause you to enter into this plea? And you've been represented by Ms. Armpriester. Are you satisfied with her advice? Do you have any questions for her or for me before we finish your plea? Are you currently under the influence of any drugs, alcohol, or medications that would affect your ability to enter this plea? Do you suffer from any mental illnesses? Do you understand that if you are not a United States citizen, that this plea would likely be used against you in a deportation proceeding? Mr. Rabb, any other questions?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Armpriester, you stipulate to a factual basis and venue for the purpose of the plea?
Yes.
Okay, sir, so the court will accept your plea and find that there is a factual basis and venue in Collier County. Also find that your plea is freely, voluntarily, knowingly, and intelligently made. To the charge of resisting arrest without violence, the court will withhold adjudication of guilt, impose the court costs of prosecution, and all applicable public defender fees. And sir, I can give you up to 90 days to pay. Would you require additional time? I will give you 90 days to pay the fees and court costs. Thank you. All right, looks good. There you go. Thank you. You may, thank you. See you at first appearance. All right, Mr. Clark, it looks like it's $370. Good morning. Good morning, Ms. Griffin. Yes, sir. Thank you.
What we're going to do today is we're going to withdraw previously entered plea of not guilty and the plea of no contest to an orally amended charge, just table announced of no valid driver's license. The reason we're doing that is because we have procured a driver's license.
Right.
During the break, the state was able to confirm that she did actually get her driver's license and it is valid.
No, I believe you.
Very well. So, Judge, after the state orally amends that charge of valid driver's license, then we will do an adjudication of guilt, court costs of prosecution, and we would ask for a $50 regional counsel fee, with $50 public defender application. We would ask for 90 days to pay, and we will, of course, waive the formal filing of the amended information. For the clerk's benefit, I believe the new valid driver's license section is 322.03 subsection 1.
I was about to ask you that. Awesome. All right, we need to get you sworn in, ma'am.
Raise your right hand.
Do you swear or your testimony you shall give to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Ma'am, could you please state your full name and your date of birth for the record?
Leah Marie Griffin, 2/13/1984.
Hey, ma'am, you are being charged with the amended charge of driving without a valid driver's license. Do you understand that that is a misdemeanor, which the maximum sentence in jail would be 60 days in jail? And knowing that, how do you wish to plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest? Have you read and signed a plea form? Do you understand all the rights that you will be giving up by entering into this plea? Are you entering into this plea because you believe it's in your best interest? Has anyone threatened you or made you any promises to cause you to enter into this plea? You've been represented by Mr. Clark. Are you satisfied with his advice? Do you have any questions for either Mr. Clark or for me before you finalize your plea? Are you currently under the influence of any drugs, alcohol, or medications that would affect your ability to enter into this plea? Do you suffer from any mental illnesses? Do you understand that if you are not a United States citizen, that this plea would likely be used against you in a deportation proceeding? Mr. Rabb, any other questions?
No further questions, Your Honor. And just for the record, the state does announce an amendment to the charge from driving with a license suspended, third or more, to no valid driver's license pursuant to Florida Statute 322.03.
Perfect.
Thank
And
you.
Mr. Clark, thank you. Do you stipulate to a factual basis and venue for the purpose of the plea? Okay, thank you. All right, so the court will accept your plea, finds that there is a factual basis for the plea and venue in Collier County, also finds that your plea is freely, voluntarily, knowingly, and intelligently made. To the charge of no valid driver's license, the court will adjudicate you guilty, impose the court cost plus the cost of prosecution, the regional counsel fee, and the public defender application fee, and I will give you 90 days to pay those fees and costs. Thank you. Thank you, sir.